right. Welcome to another episode of Spare Time. I'm Carlos, and today my guests are three lovely ladies. I've got Mackenzie, Danielle, and my lovely daughter, Justice. So this should be an interesting episode. How are you guys doing?
Good.
We're awesome. You gotta lean into the mic.
Good. Fantastic. Just coming off a work day.
Yeah, and it's already starting.
Yeah.
There's three of them, and I only have two mics. So anyone that's listening to this will have to endure whatever strange stuff that happens.
Strange stuff. Look the mic directly in the eye.
Oh man. Just pretend it's something else.
Oh, that's it.
Like what?
Oh.
I don't think I've ever been told to stay that far away from that.
So I guess just kind of go down the line and introduce yourselves.
I'm Justice. I'm Carlos's daughter. What do you want me to say about myself?
I don't know.
I'm 26, and I have 3 children and a husband. And it's Mackenzie's turn.
I'm Mackenzie. I'm 28. I have no relation to Carlos. I am best friends with his daughter. I have no children, no husband. I am single for anyone who's listening who's not 90 years old. And then I'm moving this on down.
So I got to cut you off there for a second. So how many cats is that?
I technically have 1 cat.
2. She has 2.
That's not my... Nuh-uh. I have 1 cat. The other one does not belong to me.
She takes care of 1 child. She has
She's
1
got
child.
parenting experience.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yes.
I'm Danielle. I'm 30. I have 2 kids.
She's an old lady.
These 2 idiots still love to hang out with me, though.
30, flirty, and thriving.
And I'm best friends with the 2 idiots you just heard from.
Yeehaw.
Oh, well, I've been looking forward to you guys coming on the show, actually. Since Justice mentioned it, I just sounded like it'd be fun.
We're a pretty fun group of chickens. So
Yeah, we share 1 brain cell.
Yeah, that's what Justice said, that you tell everybody you're 3 girls that share 1 brain.
Wear 1 brain cell.
We wear it.
whatever one of us has of it, we're proud, and we wear it right on our heart. That 1 brain cell.
So how'd you guys meet?
Work.
Yeah.
I got hired there without their knowledge.
Yeah.
They hated me.
No.
They thought I was going to be
I
a
thought
bitch.
I thought you were going to be a bitch.
Yeah. I thought you were just going to be a little sneaky snake.
She thought I was a spy. Danielle thought I was a spy. I was not a spy.
Danielle also hated me my first year.
I did not hate you.
She was not my friend for the first year, and then I forced her to be friends.
How do you pull that off?
She messaged me one day and said, "Hey, Medford's got a rodeo. You want to go?" And I was like, "Yeah."
And that's
And we've been fast friends ever since.
Very forceful.
Yeah. I inserted myself in their friendship. So
Best decision ever.
I touched Mackenzie's butt 2 weeks into work.
No, 3 days in, I was being
3 days and she was
molested. Yeah, 3 days and she was in. It was really like that.
Not literally.
Oh, kind of. I was bent over and everything.
Oh my god. Oh wow. You guys are way closer than I thought.
And now we're here, and we share a tattoo between the 3 of us. A
You act
tattoo
like
that
we just peel it off and stick it to the next person.
Yeah.
I want everyone to know that we scheduled this friendship tattoo appointment, and Danielle did not show up.
No, she did not.
To be fair, I was floating the river and did not have my cell phone.
She was really trying to get out of the friendship.
Yeah, and then it didn't work, and now she's stuck.
Oh, I was stuck way before that.
Oh man. So I guess I'll start with one of you guys. So
Excuse me.
Did you stalk us on Facebook to find these questions?
I did a little bit of that. Well,
Yeah, I got
so
a friend request.
I asked Justice to
She told us
give me
everything that she told
give me some insight so that I had an idea of some stuff I could ask, and everything she told me was just like, I was like, well, I'm not bringing any of that stuff up. That's a little too close to home. Jeez.
Nah.
Hit them with the trauma, and
Yeah.
everyone relates to trauma.
Yeah.
So it's
We're gonna be like laughing. People are gonna be crying while they're listening to us talk about our trauma. How we like it.
So who's worked there the longest?
Me. I've been there 8 years.
Danielle is our manager. She's
Oh, we
really great authoritative figure.
She hates confrontation. She would run and hide rather than deal with anyone.
And you're the manager of a department that basically deals with nothing but confrontation.
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. I
Nice.
got bullied into that because I didn't like the confrontation about being the manager. I said, okay.
Sure.
Well, it seems like it's working out all right for you.
Yeah.
So in my research,
Oh, God.
I discovered that you really want to live off grid and have a farm.
Yeah, that is my number one dream.
Yeah?
Yeah. I garden. I have a huge garden at home. What are you doing?
She's burped in my mouth. That was disgusting.
You guys are kind of
Jeez.
foul.
That's your daughter.
Oh.
I have a huge garden at home. I do it every year. We can everything that comes out of it that's not eaten by my children. But I would love to live on a huge farm and do nothing but work the land all day and hunt and just be at home and not have to deal with anybody in the public.
Just be a freaking
And I'm just going to steal these two and you'll just never hear from them again because
Like
they'll be locked in the back 40.
just be a Little House on the Prairie spinster.
Yep.
We're constantly researching to try and start a compound, but
A commune.
Compound or a commune? A compound sounds like we're in a cult. Which, I mean, we're
there
not.
really
technically.
is a thin line between the two. So.
Yeah.
It would be nice to have
A
like
commune welcomes people, a compound tries to keep people out.
okay, compound.
our main goal here is to have about, I don't know, like 50 acres, and we're each going to have our house on either end of all of this land, and we're going to have a community center in the middle. So when we're irritated of each other, we can go to our own houses, but then we have a party place where all of us can hang out every day.
Nice.
That would be the...
It does sound kind of like a cult.
We'll get there in our next life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be the chicken cult. The
You guys
the
have
chicken
like
gang.
bylaws and everything all written up, and
We're working on it.
We're getting there.
No ginger's allowed.
Don't worry, she won't be able to say it to be able to put it in.
It's fine. It'll be spelt wrong. Genders. No genders allowed.
oh my gosh.
God.
Oh, well, as long as I can come visit my grandkids.
Yeah.
You're not
Oh.
a ginger, Dad. You're allowed.
No, I'm definitely not a ginger. So just gardening in general, or is there something that you like the most out of it? Or
Gardening and like learning how to can everything. So I grew up gardening with my grandma, and then she's like taught me how to can everything and do all of that stuff. And like nobody else in my family really took the time to learn those skills from her. And so everybody now that my grandma's getting older and can't do so much is like coming to me and is like, well, what did she teach you? So that's like my favorite thing is to learn how to preserve the things that I'm growing. And then every year I pick 2 new plants to like add and like try to grow that I haven't done before. So last year I added 2 different kinds of peach trees to our little get up and some golden raspberries. And then this year we got black raspberries and a pomegranate tree too. So
nice.
just kind of learning how to grow different things that maybe aren't so common to this area as well, and seeing if they do well in our area. I had to get a little greenhouse because I'm getting too many fruit trees that don't last very well in our winters here, but that's probably my favorite thing is just learning how to grow those different items.
That's cool.
She's also got a few animals. She got 2 turkeys last year and then murdered them in front of her children.
And then fed them to her children.
That's
And
good.
waited
I
until
think
they
I
ate
can
them.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
we did kill them right in our front yard, and my neighbors were not too thrilled with that. And skinned them and everything in the front yard. And then my daughter was not very happy with that at the time, and then I cooked it for dinner about a month later, and my son got done eating, and he goes, that was really good. And I go, yeah, you know who that was? Christmas. Because that's what they named their turkey, and he just looked at me, terrified.
That's awesome.
She's had chickens and ducks. She had murderous ducks.
Mm-hmm.
They were drowning in the chickens.
I did dig
Yeah.
a 8-foot pond in my backyard for these ducks. because I wanted them so bad. They were little black cayuga ducks, and they apparently didn't like my chickens getting near that pond that I built them, and they would just drag them to the bottom.
Jeez.
And I couldn't figure out for forever what was happening to my chickens.
That's kind of entertaining, though.
Yeah. This year I talked myself out of getting animals, because I've had turkeys, ducks, chickens. We have dogs. And I feel like I've...
But
I mean,
it sounds like most of your animals, though, have been for a food source.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't think it's right when people get livestock animals as pets. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Like pigs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My husband's terrified of pigs, though, so we would
That's what
even.
he's scared of?
Your husband
I'm
is
gonna show up in
terrified of a lot of
costume.
stuff.
He's terrified of pigs, so we would never own a pig. But if we did, it would be for livestock. I don't understand pigs as pets, but yeah, he doesn't like pigs.
Yeah, he's an odd guy.
So, does that mean I'm going to get some salsa out of this garden?
Yeah. We do.
Do you do peppers?
Yep. Do all kinds of peppers. I made the mistake of... Excuse me?
You never make us anything.
I tried to make you a whole ass garden.
Oh, that's true.
Mackenzie killed her garden.
Yeah, I did.
I'm great at it.
I'm not very good at it.
We all have our strong qualities here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do tomatoes and peppers. I made the mistake of doing the, what is that stupid hot pepper that I grew? The scorpion peppers last year? Ghost peppers.
Yeah.
I grew those, and I made hot peach jelly with it. I did not wear gloves when I cut those peppers open, and for about 4 days straight, my
Your
hands
fingers
burnt
burn when you do
everything.
that. It's the worst.
Yeah, contact's not the greatest when I got pepper juice on.
Oh, yeah,
So,
that's horrible.
But we do jelly, salsa, just regular tomatoes, dilly beans, green beans, pickles,
Nice.
all kinds of stuff. Whatever I grow, I try to preserve it.
When I was a kid, we didn't live here in Roseburg. When we came down to Roseburg to visit my grandparents and my aunt and uncle and stuff, they would take us out to the different farm stands and stuff, and we would pick everything with them.
Yeah.
And then whatever we didn't eat while we were out there, because that's what we did. And then they would can it all, and they had so many canned foods. It was crazy.
Yeah, my grandparents used to take me out to Laney's all the time here in town. And that's where we picked all of our stuff because they didn't have an area to grow a garden. And now that I've got my own property, I just make sure that I have a big enough garden for everything.
Nice.
My dad makes super hot chili.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Everything my dad eats, though, is
I make everything super hot. Yeah.
incredibly hot. Like, his breakfast burritos, you have to have, like, 2 glasses of milk while you're eating it, but it tastes really good.
They are not that hot.
So Mackenzie would never eat anything.
Yeah, I would starve.
It'd be good for you.
I can't do spicy.
Oh,
Pepper
you
is
can.
too spicy.
Okay. Rein it in. It's not that spicy. A little warm. That's about it.
Keeps you from getting sick.
Maybe. Maybe that's why I'm sick all the time.
Mental disease doesn't get cured by peppers.
So, Mackenzie,
Yeah.
you were the first kid in your family to graduate college?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, my family doesn't think so.
No.
No?
It's 'cause you
No.
don't use your degree.
Well, yeah, I don't use my degree because I got stuck at our job.
Excuse me?
unfortunately. I'm happy to be there. It's the light of my life. I have 2 degrees, but yeah, I was the first one to get either an associate's or a bachelor's. My grandparents think I should have become a doctor because it took me a while, but I'm not smart enough for that. I'm actually not.
What do you have a degree in?
I have a degree in business and then a bachelor's degree in English writing and business.
Oh, okay.
So I could probably open a business if I wanted to, if I wasn't poor.
Yeah?
Yeah. But unfortunately, I'm poor. So
She
it's a
used to
little-
want to move to the East Coast and
Yeah,
I've almost got her talked into it.
like a publishing.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
big
yeah.
on books. I love to read, and so for the longest time, I wanted to be like an editor or like work in publishing.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work out, though, since I heard that you're a racist reader.
I am a racist reader. Okay, it is not my fault that my mind just makes everybody white. Okay? Even when they're like, yeah, he had deep brown skin, I'm like, yeah, he's a white man with blue eyes.
Yeah.
White man. He might have brown hair. That's
What about when they have like an obvious accent in the in the way that they talk in the book? Still no color, huh?
Yeah, no, I usually just kind of erase the fact that they're talking in any kind of accent. Just like hearing it in my like inner dialogue that they're just a plain white male from just good old US of A.
So you're definitely disappointed by most books that are made into movies.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
that guy.
I was like, he was white. And then I go back and he was definitely not white.
To be fair, Danielle and me have been trying to broaden her horizon over the last year and a half. She used to just read like classic books.
I like
Wuthering Heights.
It
Let's be honest.
Wuthering Heights.
Some freaking
First
Shakespeare.
Yeah.
I do like Shakespeare. It's not my fault.
That's
that-
all you used to read.
You want to know what they're into? They're into straight up porn.
Yeah.
Your daughter introduced
Fantasy
me.
porn, I know.
No, she introduced me first book she ever told me to read. She's like, it's so good. I read it. It's incest. Incest. She's like,
Distant
well,
cousins.
it's like they're not actually
She gets
related.
that from my wife, I'm pretty sure.
You know how traumatizing that is to go from reading like Pride and Prejudice to an 18-year-old banging her 40-something-year-old uncle.
Those were my favorite days, is when she'd come back into the office, she'd be like, what was that? What did I just read? And we're
it's
just laughing.
Traumatizing. And she gives you the most vague description, like, oh, it's so good, like, it's just
Her
about this
parents
girl
die and
who,
her
like,
uncle
yeah,
takes
she
her in.
moves, and
Yeah.
it's literally just porno the whole time, and worse, incest porno. So,
We've moved her along to the fantasy porn now.
yeah, I enjoy the fantasy porn.
I
That's,
need you just to read my book.
I'm not reading that book. Danny has a book. I think it's called Does It Hurt? And it is horrible.
It sounds horrible.
I've never even read it, but she has explained it because it's one of her
Is this
real
the
life
shark one?
fantasies. Yes.
Mhm.
The one where it's scary.
You don't
It's
want to know,
scary.
Dad.
No, you don't.
I don't. It sounds horrible.
It's terrifying.
It's a good book.
It explains a lot
A
about
great
Danielle.
plot.
There's no plot.
There's no plot.
You don't know, you haven't read it.
I can guarantee you there's no plot.
There's something.
There's something. Yeah, there's something.
So you're a fan of the classics and Shakespeare. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I love Shakespeare. So.
She can recite you the entire, what is it?
I can't.
Hamilton play?
Oh my god.
Is that your favorite?
Oh, no. That's not even Shakespeare,
That's
man.
Hamilton's not Shakespeare.
No, I'm just
The
saying.
musical? I can't, like, recite it just straight off my noggin. I gotta have, like,
Oh, put the music to it. She'll
Yeah,
play you the
oh,
whole
yeah, I
thing.
can sing that
I listened
whole
to it
Hamilton
all the way
musical.
home from, what, Triangle
Eugene?
Lake?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did. Me and my sister sang it to Danny, and she was having the worst time of her life. Listening to me and my 17-year-old sister sing a musical about Mr. Hamilton.
It was horrendous.
It was good.
And you're sure you're single?
Unfortunately. Unfortunately.
It's because she's got horrible taste in men.
Look who's talking.
They can't look who's talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hear who's talking. It ain't me, it's Danny.
Oh my gosh. So oh my gosh. I guess so you've been raising your sister?
Yeah.
And how old is she?
She just turned 18.
And how long have you been raising her?
Like her whole life, but she's lived with me for the past, like, 4 years, I think. She's lived with me fully, but pretty much since I turned 18, I took care of her. So I'm like, I think I'm 10 years older than her, just under 10 years older than her. So she keeps me on my toes, so,
Nice.
yeah.
Well, that's pretty impressive though. So
Yeah.
you didn't have much of a young adult life then.
No, I literally started being a parent and then just lived the single mom life pretty much.
Fun.
It's been fun.
So what's your favorite Shakespeare play then?
So I really enjoy Taming of the Shrew, which Can you guys fuck off?
It just sounds like a mushroom or something.
That's not a very popular one though.
It's a good one. I think it's probably because, like, the movie 10 Things I Hate About You is based off of it, and I really love that movie because Heath Ledger is hot. R.I.P. But, Tammy of the Shrew, Romeo and Juliet sucks. It sucks.
So my wife's friend, when she was going through nursing school and stuff, you know, you're going through college, you have to take a bunch of classes that don't relate to what you're doing at all. So she had to take this Shakespeare class, and she was freaking out because she's like, I don't understand anything I'm reading. And so I offered to do her class for her, basically. And it was funny because they had to do a final thing, a final project, and it was to write this essay on one of the Shakespeare plays. And anyways, long story short, I wrote an essay for her that was called Juliet, Just Another Teenage Drama Queen. And basically I just related the play to modern times and basically what it was all about. And she got an A, and her teacher asked for a copy of the essay to use for examples in the future. So
she's like, thank you. I worked so hard on this.
Yeah. So it worked out good for her.
Into it.
But that's cool. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with being a fan of the classics and stuff.
Well,
In fact, a lot of books that come out now, you read them and you're like, this is just
it's
the
just
same thing
like
as this old book. They just changed all the characters and
they modernized it.
Yeah.
Or in their case, added porn.
Yeah.
So
We just watched that movie the other day that you said it was about a certain play.
Anyone But You is based off Much Ado About Nothing by Shakespeare. I was very excited
She was pumped. She was like,
well, because throughout the movie, you just see these like little hints about Shakespeare.
No, you see these little hints.
Okay, because their brain isn't very expansive. They got little tiny brains. They don't see these kind of things. But yeah, it was great. I loved it, and it was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
Yeah.
Who's in that movie?
Sydney Sweeney.
That's the only reason they watched it.
I would totally watch that movie.
It's good. Very impressed.
Actually, I think Sarah was just watching that movie, telling me it was funny.
Yeah, no, we really liked that one. We went to the theaters, and then I bought it when it came out so that we could watch it again.
Right on. So, I also noticed in my deep dive into Facebook, which, honestly, your guys' Facebooks, like, have nothing. Really.
Yeah, I don't post on Facebook.
But I did pick up that you're a big fan of Halloween and the holidays.
I do. I love pretty much all the holidays because I didn't get, like, my parents weren't very big into them because they were big into something else. You know what I mean? So holidays, I love holidays, especially now that I have, like, a niece and nephew. It's really exciting to watch them experience stuff.
Dan also is obsessed
Dan
with Halloween.
is a Halloween whore.
That's her.
Okay.
Are you one of
Tell
those
me I'm
people
wrong.
that buys everything, like, the day after Halloween so that you have it next year?
Oh no, I got totes upon totes.
She already has everything she needs.
Yeah. We went to, what was it last year, like the Sportsman show or something? There was a person there that was like advertising for the next Halloween.
Oh, she was stuck.
And she was over there for like
Ever.
30 minutes. Pumped. She got like 3 cards. She was ready to go. She'll probably call him this year.
Yeah.
I do like me some Halloween.
Yeah.
What were they advertising?
Their haunted house.
Oh.
I was going to say, I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. We walked away.
We left her.
I don't know. Honestly, the only thing I remember from the Sportsman show was the freaking girl selling sugar gliders.
What?
She was literally a robot. Like, zero personality, zero movement in her face.
I'm just picturing that little Eva thing off Wall-E.
It was like we were walking through there and I saw her sitting there on her little chair and I didn't know what the booth was. So I kind of stopped for a second. I was looking at the booth and she's just sitting there staring straight faced at me.
She's like, hey.
And then all of a sudden she just like starts talking. And I was like, whoa. I almost like jumped back a little. I was like, whoa.
She's motion
She
activated.
just jumps right into this freaking sales pitch about sugar gliders. And I couldn't see any sugar gliders anywhere. And so I was like, okay, this is really weird. And then all all of a sudden she like hops off her little stool and pulls a sugar glider out of her pocket, and she's like, "You want to see it?
It's true. You take them to the movie theater with you.
Yeah, they live in pocket. They live in their pockets. So she pulls one out of her pocket, and she's like, "You want to see a trick?" And I was like, "Okay," And she like has me put my hand way up high, and then she put the sugar glider on it, and then had it jump right back into her pocket, and then she starts pulling she pulled like 5 of them out of her pockets. And
Oh my God.
And like, you could tell she was legit like into them, but this girl had no personality, no expression on her face at all. And she was just kind of monotone. So it was like an animatronic cyborg talking to me the whole time. But I'll tell you what, I probably sold all her sugar gliders for her because it creeped me out so much that everybody I talked to the whole rest of the show, I told them they had to go check out the sugar gliders.
You're like, go see
She's
that
a
girl.
robot.
Go check out the sugar gliders. No, I had an ex in high school, and they had like 6 sugar gliders, and anytime we go to the movies, his whole family would bring sugar gliders, and you put them in your pockets, and then they would just like fly around the movie theater while we were in there.
You know how terrifying that would be to be a person, you're just chilling and this flying rat comes, lands on you while you're trying to watch this movie? I'd lose my shit. That'd be terrifying.
Yeah, that would not be good. Which ex-boyfriend was that? You don't even remember his name.
Brandon.
He was
the
male.
Mexican.
I,
My
Why
senior year.
did that matter? Why?
I think I only dated one
See,
Mexican.
she's actually racist. I'm just a racist reader.
I'm not racist.
Are you sure?
no, she's married to a guy from Wyoming.
He's been around the world, guys, okay?
Okay.
What does that have to do with race?
He's seen more races. He's not racist.
Just because you've seen racist doesn't make you not racist.
He has lots of friends.
That doesn't mean anything.
Of all colors.
He's got the rainbow in his pocket.
I will tell you, once you join the military, whether you were racist to start with, you kind of lose it because you're with everybody. So
Yeah.
When I joined the military a million years ago, there was literally like a handful of people of color in Roseburg.
Yeah. Well, there still really is.
And I rode the bus with one, and that was the only black girl that I had ever known in my life up until then.
Yeah.
And I went to the Army, and shit, half the people I was with there were from somewhere else. I mean, there was black people. Half of our people that I was in there with were Puerto Rican National Guard that came, and they barely spoke English. So,
What did you say?
what was that?
What did you say?
Just like from other countries?
No, some of them were the Puerto Ricans.
Just because they're another race, not from another country, Dan.
And he's just like, they're from Africa.
Anyone listening, we're from a small town.
Anyways, it was like culture shock for me, but it was pretty neat too. I mean, I will say though, when I was in the Army, one of my best friends was the most racist person I've ever met in my life. His name was Leroy, and he was from Mississippi. And
Is that a white man in your book?
he was,
Yeah.
he
Leroy from
was
Mississippi.
definitely a white guy, and he was from Mississippi, which I gather is a pretty racist place altogether. So,
Yeah.
but otherwise, he was
Nobody
super
from
funny.
Mississippi's gonna listen to you.
So-
Yeah, no. When I went into the Navy, because I think they're one of the only ones that take people from other countries into boot camp, and so there's so many different races when you go in, and that was like wild to me because like you were saying, like when I was in high school, like you knew I think there was like 3 black guys and like 4 Asians, and then that's about it. Like,
Can you name some races for me? Like some of the races you saw when you were in the Navy?
nope, I can't.
Why?
Nope.
You couldn't name them?
No.
Why?
I don't really know any races. It's just
You only know them by color? That's racist.
color and eyes.
Oh, so
I'm not educated, guys. I'm trying. I'm only growing with the same speed as everyone else.
What are you
I
talking
think you're
about?
I think you're lagging, honestly.
So, Justice, which
Yeah.
is so weird calling you by name.
What do you normally call her?
Brat face
That's a great name.
or bitch face.
Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah.
That's usually what I call her.
It fits.
But anyway, so tell us a little bit about the Navy.
Can we please start with how she got out? Can we please just start with that? Just so we get the experience of who Justice is.
So, I went into the military.
Not knowing where she was going, let's be clear.
Okay, so I enlisted, and they told me it would be next year before I could go. And I was like, nope, I'm going to change my mind if I don't leave now. So they gave me a new job, and I didn't know what that job was. Come to find out, it wasn't a great job. And then also, I went in, and then sorry, I burped in your face again.
Thank you.
So I went in and then completed school. And when you complete school, they say, where would you like to be stationed? I had never been to the East Coast before, so I put down the East Coast. I wasn't ready to go overseas yet. That was not the right move because I got stationed in Norfolk, Virginia, and it's probably one of the worst places to get stationed. So that really sucked. And then I went in and decided that it wasn't that great. To be fair, I'm glad I did go in. I think the military is something that everyone should experience because it is a different world. It is, if you're going to live in America, I think that you should experience what the military is because, we fund the military, so it helps everyone understand that. But my job wasn't something I could do in the real world because I was directing planes on the flight deck, which I didn't even, make it all the way to that point.
With cones.
Basically, yeah. So, and that's not something you can do in the real world. Nobody wants to work at a friggin' airport directing planes when they get out. So it's either a job that you have to stay in your entire life or you get out and then you start fresh like you're basically out of high school again. So
I don't know. I've seen some pretty good TikToks. Some of those people that flag the planes in get pretty into it.
yeah, I know.
You could be out there doing some dances.
I could have made a fortune. I should have made a TikTok. I could have shaked my booty a little when I was doing it. Yeah. Do something like that. But then I wanted to get out because I didn't want to do that. So after a year, I checked myself into the psych ward.
Yep.
Because I don't like being told no, and I asked to get out, and they said no. And so I said, okay. And
you said, I'm really depressed.
I'm gonna kill myself.
So the night before we were supposed to go out to sea, mind you, it's a very bad thing if you don't show up when you're supposed to go out to sea. So the night before, I went and checked myself into the psych ward and told no one except for one friend. So the whole ship was looking for me. I was in the psych ward.
Just imagine them all out there looking for an Easter egg.
Justice!
It wasn't until halfway through the day that my friend went, oh, you guys don't know where Justice is? She's at the psych ward. And they're like, you didn't think to tell us that? And she was like, no, I thought she told you.
She's at the psych ward. She's at Safeway.
So I was there for 2 nights, and then they sent me home, and then I got in trouble, and they flew me out to the ship, and they told me, you're not supposed to do that. You should have went to a military hospital, but I knew if I went to a military hospital, they would have known I was trying to get out, so I went to a civilian hospital. And then they flew me out, and I met with the person I had met with before, and they said, you're getting out. We'll let you out. My discharge is an honorable discharge for failure to adapt, which basically means I got nicely fired from the military, which I'll take that. I don't see anything wrong with that. I also did email the CO of the ship. Mind you, this man's job is to be in charge of 5,000 people. So I emailed him. I sent him a little email and asked him if I could get out, and he told me no.
Hello. Please let me out. Thank you. Have a nice day.
But I did meet my husband over there. He was finishing up his contract, which, had some influence on that, but...
Yeah, just very little.
Yeah.
But realistically, I didn't want to get out and start fresh like I was getting out of high school again. I did go out to sea a couple times. I didn't do a deployment, but we went out probably 10 times because we were getting ready for a deployment. So I went out. So I got to experience quite a bit, which was awesome. Like I got to experience flight ops quite a bit.
Well, you were in for quite a while.
Yeah. So it was almost exactly a year. I got out, I think, like 2 weeks shy of a year. So I was in for a year. I went to, boot camp in, Chicago.
That's why she didn't know she was going.
Yep. So
Chicago was a state.
I didn't know until I got my plane ticket and it said Chicago, Illinois, and I asked why it said Illinois, and I was informed that Illinois is a state. Chicago is the city I was going to.
Thank you, Roseburg Public Education.
Yeah.
I guess my military entrance was a shit show from the start because I didn't know that Illinois was a state. My flight got delayed, so they had to stay the night in Texas. So then I was late to boot camp. I didn't know you could be late to boot camp, but apparently they have everyone arrive at the same time. So I was late. And then you have to pee as soon as you get there, but in the military they have to watch you pee, and I was very nervous. So I couldn't pee. So I couldn't pee for hours. And she kept yelling at me, telling me that I was going to graduate late and they were going to push me back. So then I was just even more freaked out from the minute I got there. And then I turned into a bitch. About a day later, when everyone was crying and I was trying to sleep, and I told everyone that we all missed home, but everyone needs to stop fucking crying and go to sleep because I was tired. So
I need a little nap. Can you guys please stop?
That's freaking awesome.
Your tears are disturbing my sleep.
Oh, and also, I'm from Oregon. It is very wet here all the time, and our snow is very wet, so I'd never experienced dry snow. So the first time it snowed in Chicago, I thought it was not.
Did you say it was cotton?
Cotton, yes. I thought it was cotton. Blowing around until I saw it on someone's backpack and I saw the little itty tiny snowflake.
Little itty tiny.
And realized it was snowing.
I love how your first thought is, it's cotton.
In the middle of winter.
In the middle of winter, the cotton is flying around. Wow.
Oh, man.
I told you guys I'm not educated. I'm kidding.
So, you told me that it was pretty interesting once you were through your basic training. You told me it was pretty interesting that how much partying and shit was going on when people weren't working.
Oh, yeah. So in the military, it's very hard to get fired. Like, incredibly hard.
Well, yeah, you can't even quit.
Yeah, you can't quit. But it's very hard to get fired. And it's not a very fun job, and you don't make very much money either. So, especially if you're, not an officer. So if you're just enlisted and you're not an officer, you don't make very much money. So, especially in Norfolk is I believe, the biggest, naval station in the world.
NCIS?
I think
you ever seen that? Yeah.
I believe there's like 30 ships there, plus there's also like other things going on there. So there's a lot of partying. And basically everyone, if you're in port, most people show up drunk to work. Like, you would get to work in the morning and people are still drunk. I did it once or twice.
Just like not a good experience.
Didn't enjoy myself?
It's not great. There's this thing in the Navy called skating. If you're smart, you can figure out how to do it very early on. If you're not that smart, you don't figure out how to do it very early on. Skating is when you're good at getting out of working. I figured out very early on that I could skate. So I would go home and then come back later, and I would tell my higher up at the time that I was just at medical for woman things, and him being a man, he didn't really care. He said, "Oh, okay." Most men don't, they're not going to ask questions. So, I skated a lot, which was pretty easy. Also in the Navy, you learn how to sleep basically anywhere at all times. I didn't realize how tired you could be until you go into boot camp and there's people falling asleep standing up all the time. So, I don't know if anyone's been that tired before, but I was very tired.
Well, it's not only being tired. I mean, every job in the military has like 10 people assigned to do it at the same time that you're assigned to do it. So really, you only got to do work for a couple minutes, and the rest of the time you're standing there waiting for them to do the same thing that you just did. And so when you're already a little bit tired, that amplifies it quite a bit. So
Also, when I was in boot camp, in regards to me not being very smart, I did pretty good in boot camp. I actually got promoted at the end of boot camp, but I didn't know this. They pick one girl and one guy to promote to move up in rank. But then I failed my test and they screamed in my face and told me that I had failed and that they had promoted me and I was an idiot and I better pass next time. It took 3 tries, but I passed. I still got promoted.
Third time's the charm. Jeez.
I'm not surprised because you don't listen to freaking advice at all.
I don't retain information very well unless I'm like actively doing it. If I'm just reading a book, I'm not going to get anything.
Do they really make you do like stupid tasks like sweeping the rain?
Oh, I washed walls for 6 hours one day. And I also had to, on a flight deck, they have what's called pad eyes, and that's where they hook the jets into when they're hold them down, basically, when you're out at sea. And they don't like water in those, so when it was raining, I'd have to blow water out of the pad eyes as it was raining. Which is also super
telling
fun.
me you didn't want to do that for the rest of your life?
No. You also, if you're...
Imagine you're out there with a leaf blower.
Yeah, pretty much. Also, if you work on the flight deck, you have to paint the flight deck. And so you paint the flight deck, and then by the time that you get finished painting it, it's time to repaint it again. So then you have to needle gun it off. So it's just this like rapid little gun that gets all the paint off, and then you just start again. And it's horrible. It's not fun. Not a fun thing at all.
Oh, man. That's funny.
But I did, you do eat the same food and sleep on the same beds, and get the same, like, bedding as in prison. So, I mean, that's a great quality of the military. Everything is labeled for military and prison use only. So, if you're wondering how great it is, they really give you the best of the best.
Oh, so neither one of you guys wanted to be in the military?
No.
Absolutely not.
No?
I would not have made it through.
I have a bunch of family that was in the military, but that was not my quest. I was looking to get away from everybody and everything.
Well, I have to say, I was super proud when she decided to join the military. And I gave her lots of advice, and she didn't listen to any of it. But
Weird.
I went there and saw her when she graduated, and then I went and visited her when she got to Norfolk. And
Yeah, he didn't enjoy walking on the ship because it's a lot of stairs.
well, it's not made for fat people. Like, I had to turn sideways through every freaking portal, and the stairs are all like this. They're
Steep.
like super steep. But it was pretty neat, though. I mean,
It's really because they're massive, and it's really cool to experience. Like, I don't regret going in at all, and the only thing I regret is that I didn't get some kind of associate's degree before I went in, and went in as an officer instead, because their life is a lot better than just being regular enlisted. Like, it's not the same kind of situation.
I thought it was neat when I went and watched you graduate. At that time, you weren't a higher rank or anything than anybody. But, like, all these other kids that were graduating were coming up to you and asking you what they were supposed to be doing. And, like, they were all looking up to you like you were somebody of higher rank. Which, you know, that I thought I was pretty proud of that. So
that happened for some things. I was also in charge of exercises for about one day. Because you have to have rhythm to count exercises.
Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't keep rhythms.
Yeah, that makes sense.
you got put in charge of checking out weapons to people because when they asked, because you said you were one of the only people that was familiar with weapons.
I didn't realize how many people don't have their license and have never touched or seen a gun. Because I came from Oregon and we have a lot of guns, and I've shot a gun a lot. I think in my boot camp, out of I think there was 90 of us, I think there was only 3 or 4 of us that had ever shot a gun or even held a gun.
That's
and
insane.
That's wild.
And I think only half had their license. So there was a lot that didn't have their license and never drove.
Are they just walking everywhere?
Well, there's a lot of people from New York, and you gotta think there's some people from other countries too, but a lot of those big cities, those people don't drive anywhere. So, yeah. There was definitely a lot of that, which was odd to me. But
Yeah. When I talked to you on the phone, you're like, Dad, we were learning weapons or whatever, and I got put in charge of checking them out because nobody had ever even touched a gun. And when they asked me if I was familiar with them, I told them, well, my dad pretty much has all of these guns.
basically all of them. Phone calls home. So when you're in boot camp, you're very emotional. I think that's probably one of the most emotional times of my life. I went to church and I was just crying. I don't even go to church, but I went to church one day, which was not a good idea because you still have to clean. Even if you go to church, you get the same amount of time as everyone else. So it wasn't a good idea. I went one time and I bawled my eyes out. I don't know why. And then all of my calls home, I was sobbing. My poor husband, his family missed his calls home in boot camp.
I could just imagine Steph being like, oh no. Can we call him back?
She tried.
She's like, hey, can you wake him up?
Hey, do you think I can talk to my son?
I
How bad would that
I
even
could
be
I
for
could
some
really
boy?
totally picture that too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
He's a boy and he's like, just, yep, not again.
He's like, cool. My family hates me.
So, what do you guys do at?
I'm the estimator, so anyone who gets in an accident, I usually write the estimates. Danielle started to help with that just because we're pretty short-staffed. And then I take care of the job once it's in the shop as well, getting like insurance approval and stuff like that. And then Mackenzie is our accountant.
Yeah, I handle all the money side of things, which is interesting because I'm not very good at math. But, yeah, I handle all the money side. I balance and close all of our files. So, pretty much from start to finish is...
So you have to deal with the insurances and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and you guys are in the body shop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we both, she deals with insurance after, like, basically I'm done with it. So
Yeah.
if we end up having something that we don't get, like, paid for everything on, Mackenzie will go through and she'll contact the insurance company at that point. It just works out like that. And then Danielle's our manager, but she does a lot more right now.
I'm support staff to these two, to
Yeah.
be 100% honest. I've got the
That's
manager,
what a manager
title,
is.
but I just support them in whatever way possible because they're really running the show. So without them, I would be completely lost.
The best description I was ever given for a manager is the person that makes sure that all their people have the tools they need to succeed.
Yep, we're working on those tools.
Yeah, we try.
I'm trying to gather.
Even if those tools are you helping
Yeah.
them out. So,
Between the three of us, we've done really good on bringing
Yeah.
back to where it needs to be in the body shop. We struggled for several years.
I've
going through
heard
a
some
bunch of
really
different
great
people.
things.
Yay!
Yeah, going through a couple different staffing issues and some different policy issues and changing some of the ways that we do things. We've, in the last year, have really come very far in that and have really stepped up our game on trying to take care of our customers and make sure that their cars are getting repaired properly and just make sure that everything's taken care of for them.
Basically, a year ago, all of us had new jobs, and then we decided to stay, so we figured we should probably fix some things if we're going to stay.
Yeah.
I went on maternity leave, and I did not plan on coming back. I was going to go back to my old job. I changed my mind after these guys.
Yeah, after I put my 2 weeks notice in and they said no.
I was supportive of you taking on a new thing
she was
at the
supportive,
time.
but she was so angry.
And then
So
Danielle
angry.
I was
also
losing my two best
had
friends
an
from
interview.
work.
Danielle also
Yeah.
had an interview, so...
We panic applied when Justice went on maternity leave because she was like, I don't think I'm coming back. And I was like, I'm not working here. So bye. And then Danny was like, I'm not staying. So we're just panic applying to jobs. And then I got offered a position and our GM was like, no, what do you want? I was like,
We
I don't
also
wanna work
realized
here.
that none of us would do well not seeing each other every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we make it through the weekends barely.
Yeah, usually one of the days, a Saturday or Sunday, one of us is with each other.
Mackenzie's my surrogate husband and father
Yeah.
to my children when he's on shift, because he's...
Yep. I just step in and I'm like, hey, I'm your daddy.
She stays,
How y'all doing?
he stays at the fire station 48 hours a week, and so she comes and stays with me on the 2 nights that he's gone.
Yep.
Every week usually, so...
Yeah.
I would probably be very lonely without her.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool that I mean, it's not often that you end up working with people that you become so close with.
Yeah, it works out really nice because even when we bicker randomly, but we always are able
New
to.
employees just losing it.
Our new employees,
we freak them out with how, like, because we will actually, like, sit there and yell at each other, especially me and Danielle. We'll just sit there and, like, argue with each other back and forth, and our new employees are like, I have to leave because this is so hostile. And then, like, 2 seconds later, we're like, so do you see that TikTok I sent you?
we don't really ever fight that often. It's bickering for about, like, 5 minutes, and then we're fine, and so it works out great.
So you guys are more like family than
Yeah.
just friends.
According to my daughter, Mackenzie is not family.
Yeah.
My oldest daughter, Leighton, will tell you that she's not family.
Leighton's very serious.
Yeah.
She's black and white.
Yeah.
We
just
should have heard
ignores
the
me.
conversation.
It's great.
Yeah?
It makes you feel so loved.
She ignores me unless I'm the only one paying attention to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll come and sit in front of my desk, but not talk to me.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
Danny will be talking
my
to
desk
her.
is for her to entertain herself at,
That's it.
and nothing else.
That's the nice thing about it was Danny leaves every day to go pick up her daughter, and then I have to leave every day to pick up mine and drop her off at school. And then when she gets done at school, she comes and hangs out for a little bit. So she's usually there. And then when Logan was born, my youngest, I brought her to work with me for about like a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something
Yeah.
like that.
So just so I could get back to work to start making money again. So Logan was about like 6 or 7 weeks old. And so she came to work with me for a little while, which was really nice that they're really good about like the family stuff, which is nice. You can usually bring your kids to work.
Well, you guys don't have... I've never been into your guys' office, but I'm assuming you don't have a ton of customer interaction in the office.
So pretty much everybody who comes into the office is either looking for an estimate or looking for an update on their car. Or if it's not a customer, it's usually like a tow truck driver or like...
Which we
They're
do
never-
have back offices that the kids
Yeah.
could go to if that...
They're
Like,
never
if
really
they're
there
there
for
and-
more than like 2 minutes,
Yeah.
5 minutes at most.
But yeah, like we have a lot of like customer interaction for the like most part. But typically when the kids are there, we have like a back office we can kind of stow them away in.
Gotcha.
Leighton loves to hang out in the
Storm away,
front,
what
though.
are
She
we,
does
the-
not like to go
We're
in the back. She
shit.
likes to hang out in front.
She wants to see what's going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's befriended one of our techs. That's her
Yes.
best friend.
His name is Paco to her.
His name's actually Pablo.
His name's actually Brian.
Yeah, his name's actually Brian.
We're racist. He's Mexican. and
I
we
love
call
that
him
she
Pablo.
calls him Paco.
Yeah. It's her. He's
So-
her best friend.
So just so you guys know, I mean, you guys haven't been around me very much, but all three of those freaking grandkids are just like me.
Yeah.
and Lyra is probably the most like me.
Oh yeah.
So you're a psychopath.
So you're crazy. That's what you're telling us right now.
They just give zero shits. So
Yeah.
They don't. Leighton really doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll just tell you straight up.
And then she's so emotional. You just.
I have very emotional children. I
I don't know where they get it from.
Yeah.
I cried through my whole pregnancy.
Yes, you did.
It's great.
It
I've
was
cried in front
horrible.
of customers before.
Sobbing. Like, actually, you can't even see her. She's in the back office, and you can hear her sobbing.
they're
You know
like,
how
"Is that
awkward
girl
that is?"
okay?"
You know how awkward is it to sit in silence with a customer and just hear Justice sobbing and you're staring at each other? Because I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Shut the door?
They sent me support afterwards. They texted me and told me I was doing great.
I would have shut the door.
I thought about it, but then I was like, they're gonna think I'm just the biggest bitch because she's
Oh,
back there
I would've-
sobbing, and I'm like, hey, she's fine.
I would have shut the door and I would be like, sorry about
That's
that.
what I said too. I said, "Why didn't you shut the door?" And they just looked at me like I was.
I
saying,
felt
"Why
that
didn't you
that
just-"
was rude.
We've had some psycho. One of them shoved Danielle at one point.
Yeah.
I had a friend here recently
God.
that had some work done, and actually he said that you guys did great. And he's like, I was picking my truck up, and I found out that that's your daughter that's been helping me all.
Justice knows everyone.
Yeah.
So
Some
Yeah,
way, somehow, Justice.
I
knows
usually
them.
know most of the people that come in.
Yeah.
Because of going to 12 schools, and then also my mother knows a lot of this town, and then you know a lot of this town. But you know a lot of this town for probably better reasons, so.
And subject change.
Time to switch it up.
We haven't had too many bad customers so recently.
Yeah.
No.
We've
Well,
gotten
we
a lot
changed our
better.
policies a lot, so
Processes.
most of the time when people are mad, it's not something that's our fault, so we don't really... We
Well,
are
from the sounds of it,
sympathetic.
it sounds like a lot of it's not your guys' fault. I mean, you guys are constantly waiting for parts. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is really hard for,
insurances
like, customers to understand. They don't, like, they're like, why are you waiting on parts? Like, we don't also make the parts.
Some people do think we have a magic wand.
Yeah.
We've been asked that before.
Yeah, they said, can you just get your magic wand and, like,
Well,
scan it?
And I know I've had friends that have had to deal with my friend Shane. Actually, you guys dealt with him too. He was having to deal with the fact that his insurance wouldn't allow. Apparently, his door was dented and it just needed a dent repaired, but his insurance wouldn't allow just the skin to be replaced.
Yeah.
So he was waiting forever for a new door or something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of random parts that go on back order. Random.
And
Yeah,
and
you
the
never know.
whole thing was just because the insurance would not pay for it that
Yeah,
way.
because we have to do, if you're going through insurance, we have to go, like, do exactly what they say, because they're the ones paying us. And then people get really frustrated when, like, we don't
Funny thing,
use...
that whole dent in his door, totally my fault.
We should have just called up you and been like, hey, can you just...
I tried
just
to.
foot
I'm
the
gonna
bill?
need you to get a
We were
plunger
going
and
hunting, and I said, let's just stay here at this place. And we pull in this place and found a spot, and then before we set up camp, we went back up to the front to pay for the spot, and the camp host was like, oh no, you have to make a reservation 2 weeks in advance. And we're like, there's nobody here, why can't we just stay?
You're like, I'm sorry.
And I was busy arguing with the guy, and Shane knew that we weren't getting anywhere, so he started backing his truck up. And the guy was clearly watching. He had this like pillar thing sticking out of the ground so people didn't hit the sign.
So
And
they
he
hit
was
the pillar
watching.
instead.
He watched Shane back into it instead of saying, "Hey, hold on before you hit that."
He's like, yes, wait for this.
He's like, you're not getting this
They didn't
spot,
have
and
a
now your
reservation.
Yeah,
That's what they get.
I was like, why would you not want our money? It didn't make any sense at all to me. And then why would you just watch this guy freaking crash his truck instead
He's
of
just
saying,
pissed.
"Hey, you might want to stop. There's a thing there."
You gotta have some sort of entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was dumb. But no, I've heard good things. I've heard horrible things, but I've heard good things.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
I've heard more horrible things from Justice telling me stories. but-
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, with the body shop industry, I think there's always going to be people that don't understand
Yeah.
it. So there's always going to be bad things.
Well, it's one of those things that the only reason you're there is because of something that already pissed you off.
oh yeah. That's what we always have to remind ourselves. Like
They come in angry already.
Yeah.
So,
and then
because who's happy
insurance.
that they wrecked their car?
Insurance doesn't care. They don't want to pay you, so they don't.
My
They're
buddy Clint, he owns Roseburg Towing, and
Yeah.
everybody he deals with pretty much is not happy. You know,
Yeah.
they're either in an accident or broke down.
Which he comes over quite a bit because we have to. A lot of times, like cars will get towed in, and they have to get towed to service to get looked at, and then towed back to us, and then so
we deal with them a lot.
A lot.
They're like
They're the main towing company
Yeah.
around here for sure, so we deal with them
yeah.
all the time.
It's the main towing company that we use too.
Yeah, you guys should fuck with him.
It's not fun.
Oh, he just had to pay for a pretty large job not too recently.
One of his employees was not using their noggin, I don't think.
It was-
You just fuck with him anyways.
It was their first time.
Fun.
Yeah.
It's not fun. He gets so upset.
I know, that's the best part. Especially afterwards, because you can call me and then laugh about it, and it'll be great.
Just have you on FaceTime the whole time, just silent.
Just after he gets like totally on the verge of tears or something, you can be like, "Oh, by the way,
Actually,
it's all
Carlos
taken
told
care
us
of.
to do
Carlos
that.
just told us to fuck with you."
Yeah.
And that would make my day if that happened.
We'll
We
do
should
it
just
when
send
we-
him a totally, completely wrecked out car and be like, your guy just dropped this off of the flatbed. Like,
Yeah.
sideways.
It fell over.
It fell off the flatbed. And he just left.
He probably wouldn't be happy because one of his guys did just hook up a vehicle wrong not too long ago.
Yeah.
And it cost him about $5,000. And I don't think he was too happy about that. But
I watched them. I was watching
did
them
take
hook
care
up
of it,
a
though.
truck that actually had just gotten bought. And then the guy ran over a pylon at the fucking gas station.
Oh
we
my
see people.
God.
I can't tell you how many people come in and they're like, "I just bought this yesterday, but
I wrecked it.
I wrecked it." It happens all the time.
I think the scariest thing is how many old people are driving. Like,
Oh,
Dude, old people are scary.
no, like they should be at a casket.
we had a
like
We had an old lady come in one time and we worked on her car. And when we finished, her son, who was also older, helped her pick it up. He dropped her off and helped check her out. And we pulled it in and we got it ready for her to take it out. And we just pulled it into the spot. And he came back in and he was like, actually, can you guys back it in? She doesn't know how to back out. So she needs to just pull it straight out.
And we were like, you think she should be driving?
This is a pull-through only lane.
Yeah, like, why is she driving?
Does she have a circle driveway?
Oh, gosh.
There was also a car one time. I didn't realize that people thought that you could just keep your purse and all of your belongings under your feet.
Like under your
gas pedal, your brake pedal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my, that was horrifying.
I've seen lots of people like that.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
They hit the brakes and a water bottle just rolls out there.
Yep. Yeah.
That's funny. Gosh. So, what kind of horror stories do you guys have?
I think it's not really a horror story because we like laugh on it now, but I wasn't even there. I was in Hawaii, but when we had a customer who was super irate and he ended up pushing Danny and one of our coworkers, I don't know what's wrong with him. There's something wrong with him. I don't know what it is. He decided to yell at this guy and tell him you better pack a lunch.
The customer did?
No, our
The
coworker
said that he was
told
going to
us.
beat his ass, and so he said, well, you better pack a lunch, because it's
Don't-
going to be a long day.
Yeah. I was like, okay.
Well, that's good.
And
They
that's
got
when
your
I
back.
stepped in, and I was like, you need to leave our shop. This is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And then it just escalated from there.
Yeah. We get a lot of customers who, well, not anymore, but like before when we didn't have like anything in place, we'd get customers who would come in so like worked up and irate that they would just scream at us. And it's so wild because Danny hates confrontation. So she'll see her employees getting just absolutely berated. And she'll come flying in like she's about to just take this motherfucker out. Like, oh, I'm going to lay you out if you talk to my employee like this. And
I got in between a customer and Justice one day.
Yeah,
like,
'cause he
stood
was-
in front of her and was like, absolutely
this
not.
man is like touching Justice, like over her shoulder. She doesn't have her glasses on. She's squinting at the computer like, I'm trying to see what this estimate is. And Danny somehow manages to squeeze between them, even though there's no room. She's like, you can leave if you want to talk like that. And then he just works himself up more.
That's
So-
good. That you got your people's back.
Yeah. For someone who hates confrontation, she's
I
like,
hate
I'm going to...
confrontation until they're threatening people that I love.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
And then she's like, I'm going to beat your ass.
Well, and you learn how to deal with it. I mean, when I was I used to be at Lowe's for like 14 and a half years, and one of my main jobs was basically any angry customer got sent to me.
The zipper was down.
Just let it out.
Yeah, so I dealt with. I mean, if a customer was angry, I'm the one that they called, and
Yeah.
So I dealt with that a lot. So I know where you're coming from.
Yeah, I could never imagine being so angry that I would come in and berate somebody the way that some of our customers have done it.
Oh
I've
no,
had-
and people think they're getting somewhere doing
Yeah,
that.
and
Yeah.
and I think that's where I become so calm because I don't like confrontation. It makes me very uncomfortable until I get to that point where I'm like, I would never treat somebody this way. So in my mind, I'm so calm because I'm like, you think that I'm going to help you with you behaving this way
Yeah.
when I
you're just making it
wasn't
worse.
supposedly helping you when you were nice to me. And then it also, I just can't see them being treated that way. That's not okay to me. And it's never going to be something that I just let happen. And so they know when things get out of hand and I'm not in earshot, they come running for me because I'm like, I'm about to be a pit bull.
Yeah.
We had did you tell about that guy that we had not too long ago that was standing
Like, yeah.
over the top of me, breathing down my neck, and Danielle just
Yeah.
came and inserted herself between us.
Yeah.
And then there was another guy that just kept calling me incompetent and an idiot.
Yeah. That's
And I
our
told him
favorite.
also that he could leave and never come back to my shop again if that's how he was going
Yeah.
to treat my employees.
We
My-
usually...
My favorite thing to do when I was dealing with people back then was basically I would be like overly nice and super condescending.
Yeah. I become
And all they would do was
blunt.
get madder and madder until the point where they would just leave on their own because they knew they were going to lose their
That was
shit.
the guy with the door handle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just kept saying, I don't know what you want out of this conversation.
Yeah, you know it's not going
Like,
anywhere
I
when
don't-
Danny goes, this conversation isn't going anywhere, and they're just still going. She's like, okay, and just smiling at him.
Yeah.
I'm super bad about I will repeat myself because a lot of people
Oh.
don't understand body repair, so I'll repeat myself like multiple times, and then if they still ask the same question again, I just go silent and look at them like they're an
Yeah,
idiot.
she goes blank, and she's like, are, like, you can see it in her face, like, are you fucking stupid?
And I can't tell you how many times I've repeated myself I've said
Yeah.
the same thing like 3 times to someone and they still say it again and I'm like,
It's just like an awkward silence.
I'm out of options. I don't know what to tell you anymore. Like, I've repeated myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a customer just the other day who there was a mix up with his paperwork or whatnot. It was our mistake, and I told the guy, I screwed up. I'm sorry. We can start all over, or I can refund you your money. Well, he chose to get a refund. No big deal, whatever. So we gave him his money back. But I wasn't here, and my employees only refunded him a portion of it. They didn't refund him the processing and the other part. Well, he called me because they had told him he had to contact the ATF to deal with that or whatever. And he did, and they were like, basically, they were like, oh, it sounds like you're getting ripped off. You need to talk to an attorney or go in there and have him talk to us. And basically, I told the guy, I mean, he's trying to explain all this to me. And I said, no, they were supposed to refund you all the money. I'm sorry that didn't happen. Come in and I'll take care of that. And he just keeps going on forever about, no, I'm supposed to contact an attorney and blah, blah, blah. And I'm supposed to do this. I'm like, well, you can if you want, but all I want to do is give you your money back. I mean, it's not.
I'm
Do
just
you want
trying
your
to
money?
refund
Do you
you.
want your money or not?
And this conversation went on for like half an hour. And finally, I was done. So I told him, I said, well, come in to get your refund. And he's like, well, are you going to wait while I get them on the phone so that you can talk to him? I said, no, I'm not going to talk to him. I said, I don't need to talk to him. I'm going to give you your money. You're going to come in. You're going to get your refund. I'm not going to have a conversation with you. And that's going to be the end of it. And he's like, well, blah, blah, blah. And he just kept talking. I said, well, I'm done talking about it. If you want to come in, let me know when you're going to be here. I'll make sure that your refund's ready. And finally, we got off the phone. And he came in. I had his refund in an envelope ready, so I didn't even talk to him. He came in and grabbed it, and the guys are like, he asked for me, and the guys are like, he's in a meeting, and so then he left, and I was like,
him
well,
out the window.
see you later. I mean,
you're
it's
like, hey, there he goes.
some people you can't.
You can't, like,
there's
win
some
with.
people that you will
No.
never ever make happy, even if everything went 100%
Yeah.
the way they wanted to. They will still not be happy.
Yeah. Well, and the worst are the people that you do the most for.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that seems to bite us in the ass the most, is we will go out of our way to, like, cover their rental, or, like, if their insurance doesn't cover, like, OEM parts, and we're like, okay, we'll get them some OEM parts. And then they turn into, like, the biggest assholes, and it's like,
There's been a lot of
me?
times where I'm like, this person's been super nice, like, so I just want to help them out, and then it's like a
It just-
switch,
yeah.
and you're like, oh, okay.
You're like, I regret every decision
Yeah.
I made.
The best thing to do is, well, you guys said that you finally have some programs in place.
Yeah.
Best thing to do is just follow those.
Yeah.
And at the very end, when it's all done, if they were a great customer, do something for them then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If not, they got treated like everybody else. And because it's always the people you bend over the most for
Yeah.
that are just going to keep on.
Yeah.
asking
We've learned
for
that
more.
over the last couple of
we
years. 'cause-
learned that the hard way.
Yeah, a lot of times we were trying to help customers out, like covering their rentals. And
Yeah, especially because we had just, like, a shitty tech, so we'd be covering the rental, and we're like, yeah, we'll cover the rental. It's like, no big deal. And then it was just a nightmare.
Not fun.
No. We're like, wow, why did we do that? That didn't do anything for us. That just made our lives more difficult.
Yeah, I bet. But, so you guys have a lot of fun in your office, I see.
Yeah, we also get in trouble.
We get in
a lot for
trouble a lot for it.
Yeah.
You guys think you're like TikTokers, I see.
That would be your daughter. She
Yeah.
has brought us in. She thinks that we need to do these, like, TikTok challenges.
I did laugh pretty hard watching you guys slap each other in the face with tortillas.
Okay, she was very aggressive with that.
We
They about knocked me out.
we
with
were
hitting
on
me.
a roll for about 3 months.
Yeah.
We were doing good
one
about
every
like,
week.
One every week.
Yeah.
We've gotten in trouble a couple times now.
Yeah.
Mainly me getting in trouble for posting them.
Mainly me getting in trouble.
Yeah,
It's me who does the troubling,
So,
and she
yeah.
gets talked to because she's the
Yeah,
manager.
Danny gets yelled at. Justice is the one who actually did it.
And I
So-
love when I get to come back and I'm like, we weren't supposed to do that. And they're like, well, I don't understand.
Yeah,
and
we
I'm
always-
like, I know.
We always disagree when she comes back and she's like, well, this is what our GM said. And we're like, actually. And then she's like, can you guys just shut the fuck up? Like, I know what you guys are saying, but this is how it has to be.
So I've had to delete a lot of our TikToks. So I gotta like green screen them
Yeah.
Apparently. I'm gonna have to we're gonna be the green screen team.
Yep.
It's really just going to be a green screen behind us,
Yeah.
nothing cool.
Can't show that we're at work.
Yeah. Just make it
But
like
we
a
have
Harry
to do
Potter
that because
background.
our job sucks so bad sometimes because of the industry that we're in.
Yeah,
People
it's
are always
stressful.
angry. We have to have a little bit of a reprieve.
Yeah.
Just something to get us through.
We have a lot of food fights.
Okay, I wouldn't call it food fights. It's usually them throwing shit at me, and then I get yelled at by like
And then she
our
throws a
cleaning
stamp at
lady.
the back of my head.
Okay,
Don't
you
even
have
try to
the
act
account
like it.
number stamped on your noggin now. I did throw a stamp at her earlier this week, and I usually have horrible aim. Usually I let go too soon or too late, and it hits the ground.
I didn't
No.
even try to duck because she's
She
so
didn't-
bad at throwing things, and it
No,
clocked me
her
right in the
right
back
in the
of the
head. A full-on stamp that I used to stamp our checks, and it just about knocked her out. And I was like, "Oh, I'm getting fired. Here it is."
We've pulled a lot of pranks. We've scared a lot of people back in the body shop.
Yeah.
We try and do that pretty often.
Me and Justice actually broke into one of our coworkers' houses,
Yeah.
and probably 20 of the little Dollar Tree babies.
Yeah, they're like this big.
Yeah.
We
we
put
spent
them
like
all over his house.
$40 at Dollar Tree on
Yep.
random
We
items
put
to put in his
ovulation
house.
tests in his kitchen. I mean, in his kitchen.
In his bathroom.
In his bathroom. We put food in his fridge. We put Eggos in there, some corn dogs. We put pixie sticks everywhere. We hid them everywhere.
Yeah, and
We-
shot glasses.
Scandal.
We bought Jesus candles.
Why?
We just like to fuck with him,
Because
and
he
he was
didn't know that we had his house key.
Yeah.
he was
He had some
terrified.
roommates, and one of the roommates had moved out, and they had somebody bring the house key back to the body shop for him.
They gave it to me.
He was on lunch, and so they gave him to Justice, so he had no idea that they had his house key.
Yeah,
For
Justice and I.
how long were you guys doing that?
We went on lunch.
Yeah, we went on lunch, went to the Dollar Tree, went to his house, and broke in.
So just one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it one time, and he was terrified. And Justice has no poker face.
None.
We probably could have
We had
kept
him
it going.
for hours that it was not us until he seen Justice, and then she was like, ah.
Yeah, until he's like, swear on your kids' life, and Justice is all of a sudden looking at the ceiling like, oh, that's cool up there. What are you guys looking at? And he's like, it was you.
It was pretty good.
Yeah. Which Danny got kind of the shit end of the stick on that one because he did end up bringing a fat ass dead raccoon into her
He's
office.
brought 2 raccoons into the office.
Only
Yeah.
one
Dead
was
raccoons.
tick infested, though, and that was the one that went under my desk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gross.
she turned around and her foot hit the dead raccoon and she
screamed.
screamed. And then about 3 weeks later, he was driving and was like, "Oh, that's a nice raccoon," and he brought it.
He stopped on the side of the road coming back from Glide and decided, yeah, I'm going to put this in my brand new Corolla in the trunk
And
bring
in.
it to work and put it in Danielle's office.
And then he decided the next day, probably not the best idea. So he came back and took it back out.
Yeah. But left a blood trail
Yeah.
Yeah, we had
all
to,
over the body shop.
had to bomb our office because there were ticks in there from the raccoons.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
We've had a few dead rats set at our desk a few
Yeah,
times.
I didn't even know what it was. It was so petrified. It was under my desk and I was like,
It was a ratsicle.
I don't even know what that is. Like, it doesn't even look like nothing. Just
Yeah.
fur and bones.
It's pretty surprising what you find behind some of the paneling on cars.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny shot me with what'd you put it on? One of our,
Little
slingshots.
rockets.
She
And I
put a dead bird on it
taped to it.
and was
Shot
shooting
it
it at me.
It was his final flight. I was trying to do something nice for him.
She broke its legs off.
He was
He
taped.
didn't have any legs
He was
anymore.
dead.
Rest in peace, little birdie.
You don't need legs to fly.
No,
Wings.
you just need wings. Woohoo.
He
So,
wasn't an owl.
so you guys are all big time readers. I know
Yeah.
you said you like classics and Shakespeare.
They like porn, yeah.
You guys like.
I like porn with plot. Danielle just likes porn.
Yeah, Danielle doesn't watch porn, she reads it.
Yeah.
She's
They've-
like, yeah.
They're basing this off of one book.
Okay. You want to tell them
So
about the book?
what other kind of books do you guys like then?
A lot of fantasy.
Yeah, Justice has got me, very into fantasy. She, ruined my life pretty much because she was like, hey, read this fantasy series. It's really good, but just, after you finish the first series, then I'm going to tell you that there's actually 15 books in this whole fucking thing.
They try to make me struggle through those. and
I
it
like
does not
fantasy and
happen.
I like mystery books too.
Yeah, mystery books
I
are
read
good.
a lot of mystery books. My husband and me listen to a lot of books together too. We like to listen.
I think my favorite was when he bought all the Harry Potters, and you were so angry because you wanted to buy the ACOTAR graphic audios, and he had bought all the Harry Potters.
Yes, Voice Steals my
On
friend.
audio?
Yeah.
Dude, Harry Potter audiobooks are really
they're
good.
good, but it was just cracking us up because we were
He
like,
steals the
Yeah.
audios, our credits before I get a chance to use them.
And we're
Every
like, oh,
month.
what did he spend
I know
it
how
on?
that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sarah does that to me all the time. So.
Yeah.
A lot of times he gets books and he wants me to listen to them, but they usually have a boring reader, and I'm not a fan of boring readers.
Yeah.
So I have to, like, there's been a few books where I bought.
Yeah, the narrator has to be good.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't like bad narrators.
I also don't like when you have a multiple book series and the narrators are different for each
Yeah,
book. That
I
drives me
struggled
nuts.
with ACOTAR when I first read it because the narrator changes.
Like 3 times.
And
which
I'm like,
sucks.
bro. But then for the rest of, like, the whole, not only that series, but the rest of the author series, it's the same girl. So it's like, why couldn't they just started with her? It would have made it so much better.
Yeah. Yeah, I have the same thing. I hate it. But anyways, I'm the same way. The narrator means it makes the book.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I still, to this day, I think the Harry Potter series, one of the best narrators ever. So,
I might have to listen to that one. I haven't listened to that one. Lately,
Yeah.
I've been in like a
Book funk.
book funk. I haven't really listened to a whole lot. I like to,
whenever I get like that, I totally switch up the type of books I'm listening
Yeah.
to.
I did buy a few Stephen King books the other day. I've been thinking about maybe listening to those. I do like to randomly like read them, but also I don't really ever have a chance to like actually read a book, so it's very hard.
So I actually read only pretty much management and like
Yeah.
Frank
books.
books.
Frank books, yeah.
books
what I
that
call those.
improve
Yeah.
myself, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm reading How to Read People Like a Book. So that's what I read. But those are the way I physically read, and then I listen to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There for a long time, I was listening to podcasts quite a bit, and then now I just listen to them basically whenever Spoy's listening to them, but he listens to a lot of like Skinwalker
Yeah.
podcasts.
Is that what he's into right now?
Alien podcasts.
Oh my god, we could be. Why does he want to be best friends with me?
Mackenzie doesn't believe in God. She believes in the aliens
Yeah.
almighty.
Aliens Almighty. Actually, it's hard to say like what I believe in because I always contradict myself. But yeah, aliens for sure. I have an alien tattoo and a Bigfoot tattoo.
Yeah.
Like
Do you have an
100%.
alien tattoo?
The aliens are abducting Bigfoot.
Oh, I just thought that was your Bigfoot tattoo.
No, my Bigfoot tattoo is the aliens abducting him.
Yeah.
I've also named my Bigfoot Kevin, which I regret immensely because we work with someone named Kevin and he...
Looks like Bigfoot.
No, not even close.
It's
the exact
only-
opposite of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A timid, small,
Frail man.
frail man.
Sorry, Kevin, if you're listening.
We're getting fired.
Poor guy.
I wouldn't doubt it.
You just went off and named him.
Oh man. Oh well, my wife and my best friend believe in Bigfoot. So.
Yeah. Trust me, I've seen Sarah's Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Everything. There's-
Addiction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all over the truck, all over the house, everywhere.
But you're a big alien believer, huh?
I love aliens and Bigfoot, even though like I'm like the world's like biggest pussy. I'm terrified. Like if an alien actually like contact,
Because you just
R.I.P.
You
to
just
Mackenzie.
see
Have you
Skinwalkers
seen
in your house.
the Saturday Night Live skits of them being abducted by aliens?
I think I have. Was it with Ryan Gosling?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I can't remember her name. She's on.
She's fucking hilarious.
She's so funny. I cannot watch anything with her because I'm just dying laughing the whole time.
Yeah. No, those are the best. Yeah, I think Savoy, because he's like a huge Joe Rogan fan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So anything that Joe Rogan believes in, I think.
No,
Savoy
you're wrong.
starts
It's
believing.
actually Tom Segura. Anything Tom Segura believes in, my husband believes in. He actually comments on Garth Brooks' Instagram photos and says that you are a murderer.
So
Where are the bodies?
You remember because
Why is he such a psychopath?
do you not remember that?
No.
So
that's getting big now.
yeah.
Yeah, so Tom Segura
No, I know what you're
made
talking
this
about. I
up.
didn't know that Savoy was in on
He
it.
didn't make it up.
No, because remember
just
so
started
He started the rumor.
I don't think he started it. It's everywhere.
yeah.
No, my husband's more obsessed with Tom Segura and his wife than he is Joe Rogan. And they do a special like podcast video series like once a month that you have to purchase, and it has some of the most disgusting fucked up shit you've ever seen in your life. Most people vomit when they watch it, and Savoy's like, yes, I can't wait.
Yeah, your husband's a
I
little,
can't wait.
a little crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
We
gonna
love
have
Savoy,
to
but-
get Savoy on here.
Yeah, you'll have to have it. Yeah, just
He'll
he
just sit
loves.
here silently laughing.
But yeah,
Yeah.
he's commented on Garth Brooks' Instagram photos before and
That's
said, "Where's the
awesome.
bodies?" That's my husband.
So I always do a little bit of research on whoever I'm having on, so I have some ideas of things I can talk about. But I also have a page of just random shit from like things that are trending on the internet and that kind of stuff, in case the conversation dies. And fucking Garth Brooks, serial killer, is number one thing on the top of the list right now.
Yeah.
Just
I know
because-
all about it. My husband. We were watching something the other day. He's
Swears I
like,
could've seen this.
he's a fucking creep. Look at him. Look
Yeah.
at him. He's a serial killer. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. My childhood best friend is like my entire life has loved Garth Brooks, and I remember when Justice told me that Savoy's commenting on Garth Brooks, and he's like, "Where's the bodies?" And I told her that, and I was like, "Do you think Garth Brooks is a serial killer?" And she's like, "Yeah, but he makes good music." I'm like, "Okay, so everyone knows this. Everyone knows that he's just a serial
It's
killer out
all
here."
over it's a huge on the internet right now.
That's just because she wants to
Everybody-
bang Garth Brooks.
That's because she loves
old men.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mackenzie's
God.
best friend loves old men. She's the
We've
same
been-
age as Mackenzie. She
We've
loves-
been best friends since we were 10.
My wife loves old
Best
men.
friends.
My wife is in love with Kenny Rogers.
Yeah, my
And
best friend goes
she
to the
went
next
to a
level.
Kenny Rogers concert a couple years ago. He's like 100 years old. And she's
Speaking
like,
of wrinkly old
and
little
she
frail
and
came
men.
Sarah's just like, "Oh my
she
god."
came home from that concert and she told me, she said, "Babe, I lost my shit. I almost threw my fucking panties on the stage."
Oh my
And I was
god.
like, what?
I texted Sarah the other day and asked her if she knew any older men
Who
They-
are looking.
for
What'd
who
she
were
say,
looking-
Mike?
Mike. She said Mike.
She's like,
Mike's
"I
the
got
only
Mike."
single Mike. And the only single one I know.
I got a buddy named Rob.
Oh, yeah. She's,
Give me his contact. I'll send it to Amy. We'll get it there.
Amy loves them old men.
We're trying to get Amy to move down here.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
She's got a specific type right now. It's usually a coworker.
Or like 30 years older than her.
At least 30 years older than her. Gotta have cancer.
So she's a gold digger.
Well, technically.
The last two have had cancer.
And they've both been coworkers.
she's just one of those people that wants to fix everybody.
Yeah. And then she's like, "Why didn't
got
this
some
work
issues.
out?" We're like, "Girl, you wonder why."
Oh my god. I'm gonna pause this for 1 second. All right, sorry about that little break, but nature called.
It's all that talk about Bigfoot.
It's your
Yeah.
whiskey. What whiskey are you drinking?
Wyoming whiskey, Outrider,
Do you like,
right now.
Is that one good? You like it?
I like it.
What's your favorite ever?
Ever?
It changes all the time.
Really?
And it depends on if I'm drinking or if I'm smoking a cigar with it, or
Dark liquor makes me want to just vomit thinking about it. I don't.
I don't think you guys even notice I have a full bar behind that door.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, I didn't see.
Did you see the first bottle in there?
I'm trying to see. The hand?
No, the one on the top with the chicken on it.
Oh my!
That's a rooster.
Chicken cock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good whiskey.
Oh my god. Neck is broken. I can't see very well. behind the
Mackenzie
door.
can't drink certain vodkas.
I can't drink certain liquors because I will literally break out in
She's from the
hives.
land of the
Are
potatoes.
you allergic to alcohol?
Yeah, most of them, yeah. I do really well, like, on whiskey. I can drink Tito's, but any other vodka...
Savoy breaks out from rum. He breaks out in hives
Yeah.
all over from rum.
So he's not going to become a pirate?
No,
No.
he's been on there for a little while. He was on a fucking shit. What's the one that's you
What?
mix with?
I know he loves tequila, but
Yeah,
says
he's a
that he can't really
tequila
drink it.
whore.
He just finished a bottle this
Yeah.
weekend. He's a liar.
We went out with him, and that's all he drank. We got shots of Pendleton, and he was like, I
See,
can't drink that.
I like tequila,
I can't drink tequila.
but I really should not drink tequila.
I
so.
love tequila. That's about all I will drink. And I'll drink like regular drinks, like twisted teas or whatever. But
the bitch beers.
yeah, bitch beers. I'll drink bitch beers, but I hate White Claws and stuff like that.
Oh.
I'm not a
Those taste like TV static.
yeah.
Like,
I think it's
imagine.
part of
Well,
it.
burped
I
fruit.
can't handle seltzer water.
Yes,
Period.
Yeah.
seltzer.
God, it's disgusting.
You burped the fruit into the can.
Sarah
Yeah.
drinks that.
It's
and
just
they're
like you're like-
horrible.
Little bit of fruit.
I don't even think you get even that. They're just like, I swooshed it in the air.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
disgusting.
This is what you get. Dust water.
It's just, oh.
No. But yeah, when we're in public, like when we go out, basically I drink
Lemon drop shots.
Basically, I drink tequila.
Lemon drop shots. That's all.
lemon
she
drop
gets.
shots. Oh, I had the greatest lemon drop shot ever the other
That
weekend.
Irish pub.
No, the one before
Mm-mm.
that. Mm-mm.
Oh.
At dinner.
I
But
don't remember what the name
yeah,
was.
tequila and vodka. That's about it. I don't do any dark liquor.
What was that place called?
Scooby-Doo or something.
Scooby Doo.
I don't remember what it's called.
Well, your other best friend,
Cornucopia.
Kip, she
Yeah.
is freaking makes some
Cornucopia.
amazing margaritas.
Yeah,
She loves
Kirsten.
some spicy.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Kirsten
Like,
makes
dude, her
really
and the
good
spice.
margaritas. She makes really good spicy drinks, which I love.
Yeah, I feel bad for her stomach lining because she loves spicy stuff so much. She's like, girl,
I could not handle.
you
waking
have
up when We
anything?
did that girls trip, and we'd be like
How
8 o'clock
spicy?
in the morning, and she's like spicy margarita, and I'd be in
Yeah.
the backseat like it's burning my nostrils.
yeah, I'm like, I can't breathe. I got heartburn.
Kirsten loves her spicy
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
That-
She makes good drinks though.
Yeah.
That reminds me, you guys did go. All three of you went on
The girls'
Sarah's
hunting trip.
girls hunting trip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did.
How was that?
That was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. Justice, like, she tried to warn us, like, not really warn us, but she was like, yeah, they're going to be very, like, loud, and they're not going to follow any of the rules and all this. And I was like, that's fine. And then we got there, and I was like, okay, I'm a little overwhelmed. But it was great. I really enjoyed it. Way better than I thought I would.
I think that's the second or third time,
Yeah, because we went.
and it keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that, how it just keeps growing. Because
Yeah.
Steph was like, me and Megan want to go next year. And I was like, we're running out of cars. We had to take 2 cars this year. Like, we're running out of space here. I'd like to
I'm
actually
running out of
get-
energy because I'm the one that has to set everything up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to. These idiots slept in Danielle's 4Runner, and they didn't put
We
the
didn't put the
second
seat-
seat down all the way, so
Yeah.
they were sleeping on an
We were,
incline.
like, probably, like, 3 inches from the roof.
Yeah, I could have like licked my headliner.
Well,
Yeah.
It's getting close. You guys better start preparing for
We
next
better
year.
figure out how to lay that 4Runner seat down.
Or
I
come
think I'd
up with
almost
a,
rather bring my
you know,
tent.
bring a tent and buy some cots or something.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
The one of the mornings, Justice just opened up the lift gate, and our sleeping bag and blanket was frozen to the
Yeah.
glass, and it just pulled it off
I
of us.
figured out what that was, though. I made the mistake of not driving my 4Runner the whole time we were up there. So the first night, it was nice and toasty warm in there because I had just driven up to the camp. 4Runner was nice and warm. The next night, it hadn't been moved in 24 hours, so
Yeah,
it
we
was
froze our
freezing cold
asses
that
off.
night.
It's weird that you'd think that vehicles would keep you warm, but they really are not
They
insulated.
suck.
No,
No,
they don't.
they're
because
they're
of
one
all
of the
the
worst
glass.
places to sleep. Just sleeping in a tent with a good mat or something underneath you and some good
Yeah.
sleeping
Yeah.
bags is way warmer.
I do horrible camping though because I hate when my face is cold at night, and so then I'm trying to bury myself. Kirsten, because we slept in the tent on top of the truck, she's like, I had the greatest sleep of my life, and I was like, I was fucking freezing. My face was so cold all night long. I can't handle when my nose is cold. I'm not sleeping.
Maybe you should buy a ski mask. and
Yeah,
sleep in
something
a
like
ski
If
mask.
my-
just your eyes.
Imagine she gets up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
There's a rumor out there. Yeah, it'd be stressful.
Oh my gosh, I went pee the second night. I was so scared. It was like 3 a.m. I was terrified. You know how scary it is to get out of the mountains and climb down out of the top of your truck to go to the bathroom? Horrifying.
Yeah.
You know what's even scarier?
You know,
Is
I've
when
done that a
decide to
million times. It doesn't bother me.
sleep in a parking lot and you open your eyes to somebody looking in the
Okay,
windows
that was
at you.
terrifying. We decided that instead of getting a hotel when we were down in Medford getting drunk, that we're going to sleep in the 4Runner. And then Danny couldn't handle the fucking kids that were just screaming in this parking garage, so she drove us, parked right next to a no parking sign.
In
And
a big mall parking
I
lot.
literally opened my eyeballs, and this man is just staring directly into my
She doesn't
soul.
have tinted windows.
Yeah.
Mine just has factory tint, so it's not that dark.
I was like, are you shitting me? I'm staring at some man I've never even seen before. I don't even know where we're at.
They say this like getting a
He's
hotel.
like, hey, do you have a cigarette?
Yeah.
It's like, you sleeping in there?
They say this like getting a hotel is in Medford is any better. We got a motel
It was terrifying.
in Medford in the. Oh, I would say that the ghetto of the ghetto.
The ghetto of downtown Medford.
That's when Savoy thought that we were just going to let you get, like,
Yeah,
kidnapped,
my husband didn't really
he had
know
no
them.
faith in us.
He didn't really know
Savoy
them.
has no faith in it.
Yeah, he didn't really know them. He's like, you think they're going to protect
He's
you?
the most paranoid person.
He
I know.
really is.
He's like, you think they're going to look out for you? And I was like, yes, I'm not worried. And he's like, I don't know. And
He's
then,
like, I am.
and then
I'm
we got a
stressed.
motel where we got there and the bottom of our bed had blood on it. And we were like, can you change the sheets?
And they just were like, yeah, we'll just take it off.
They just took it off. We got back and they just took the sheet off. They said, fuck that. We'll just take the sheet off. We're not
Yeah.
changing it.
Yeah. That's
That was
why,
your sheet. You don't want it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It progressively got worse as we were walking down the street. You could just see, like, the house is getting worse. The motel's getting worse.
There's bars on the window of one of these, like, hotels. They have bars on.
They had
like,
bars on the stairs. The stairway, you had to have a key to get into the
it
stairway.
was stressful. I was like, this is why you guys don't let me pick stuff.
Yeah,
Because
because
I don't do my
cheapest in the cheap,
research.
$50 a
Yeah,
night.
I was like, do you guys want to go cheap or what? And they're like, yeah, cheap. And I'm like, who cares if it's safe? I didn't think about that shit, so we're just staying in this
It's the
scary
best
place.
walk of our life coming back with our chicken.
We did, yeah.
we bought chicken at 2 a.m. and just walked back.
Walked all the way back from the bar to the
Which it was not a
scary
short
hotel.
walk. It was a long
It
walk.
was literally so long.
It was
It was horrible. It was horrible.
Oh man. Sarah and I stayed at a hotel. It was down on the coast in I can't remember the name of the place, but anyways, it's right after you get into California.
Mhm.
And it looked like a perfectly nice hotel when we got there. It wasn't dark or anything. And then we got in and like all the hotel rooms, the doors faced like the water. And there's like this big grass walkway between the water and the hotel. And apparently that's like where all the freaking homeless people and shit like walk. That's like their freeway because they don't want to walk on the main road.
Yeah.
So all night long, we heard people like cussing at each other. There's like bum fights going on out there.
That was your entertainment for the night.
Yeah.
It was horrible. And I was like, oh my God, where did we
got
stay?
internet, but we got bum fights.
Yeah. We don't have satellite TV, but look out your window. You'll see the homeless
It's
fighting.
never a good idea to buy just a cheap hotel. It's
yeah, we
bad.
learned that.
we made that mistake. Yeah.
Yeah.
I stayed in Fresno one time and I got woken up at least 4 times by prostitutes knocking on the door, asking if I would.
Oh my God, I would have been so stressed.
Because you would have been like, come in. Yeah.
Like, what do you want? Do you need a home?
To
You need
this day,
someone to love you?
to this day, I still tell people that Fresno is one of the armpits of the United States.
Yeah.
We just do Airbnbs now.
Yeah.
It's so much nicer.
And in case you're wondering, the other armpit is El Paso, Texas.
That's what I've heard. I've never even been there, but I've heard it.
It is horrible. So, Airbnbs now, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
That's
much
where
better.
it's at.
We booked the hotel here in Roseburg. That one was nice.
Yeah, it was so nice.
For what? The like 12 seconds that you've seen it?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to book a hotel in town because
Yeah, we decided to go out for Dan's Dirty 30, and she got fucked up.
Actually, you went to Daniela's.
Yeah, it was.
30.
So we always say that, like, Danielle, when she gets drunk and Dan comes out, it's like her alter ego. She, like, surpassed
So I've got
Dan.
4 guests today.
She has, like, 2 other personalities. She gets some liquor into her.
She stepped out the door and
You don't have Jack Daniels in here right now, so Dan
She-
will not be available.
Yeah, Daniela she doesn't come up. This is the first time I've ever seen her come
If
up.
you told me that
Twice.
you wanted to have Jack Daniels available for the interview,
She would have been
I might
like,
not have had you on the show.
she would have been like, you got Jack?
She did that at a restaurant one
yeah.
time. She turned to the waiter and she goes, "You got Jack?"
And we're just like, why did you just scream that at him?
I did not.
She did.
It was
Dramatic.
aggressive.
She was like, "You got Jack?"
like she's
stressed
about
out
to
because-
knock him out.
We were looking at the menu and we were in some little freaking bar thing in Medford.
It was a brewery.
And
I
I was
can't
like,
say that
oh, I
word.
really like the sound of this drink. Well, then I realized that it was like a whiskey flight thing. It wasn't the drink that I thought it was. It was several different drinks, not it all mixed together. So then I panicked. And I was like, yeah, I guess I'll just take Jack.
But yeah, her balls dropped. She turned into Jack.
She
was like, you got Jack.
But Daniela on her birthday stepped outside of the bar after
didn't even get off the last step of the aisle.
I made it outside of the bar. That was the only thing that counted.
She just starts vomiting as she's walking.
Projectile vomiting, not even bending over.
Just kept walking?
She just kept walking.
Me and Justice are zigzagging, avoiding the piles of puke.
Was it Dylan that told them that it was my birthday? Which it was not my birthday. It had been like a week past.
Yeah, she did
and then
2
they gave
shots
me
of
that
Pendleton.
nasty birthday drink that they make at every bar, and that's what did
Don't know what that was, but...
I don't know what it was either, but I chugged it.
And then she projectile vomited all over the Idle Hour parking lot. And all over herself.
I tried to take you out in the bathroom.
Oh.
Yeah. She also passed out.
So you ruined the whole story by saying it was at the Idle Hour.
You know, we always end up
Everybody
there.
walks out of the Idle Hour puking.
You know what?
Yeah.
I have yet to do it.
I haven't done it. I did almost get in a fight, but I have not.
I had to stop her from getting in a fight at the Idle Hour.
Mackenzie wrapped her hand around. I was smiling from ear to ear. I was fine.
She was about to get punched by a
I was being petty
child.
Justice. I was enjoying myself. I loved every moment of it.
Someone that we don't really care for was trying to pay for his bar tab with his Relia card.
Yep.
Yeah, and Justice said, "Can you even afford your tab?" And he lost his shit.
And he was like, "I make more money than you." And I was like, "Doing what?" And ear to ear, I was happy as could be. And Mackenzie takes her hand, she slaps it over my mouth, and drags me away.
All I could think was, if she gets punched by a man, Savoy is going to kill me. He is going to kill me and never let me be friends with her. And so I was like, Justice, shut the fuck up. You're going to get decked right now by a man, and then he's going to get his ass beat, but then Savoy's going to be mad at me. And I don't know what to do.
Last time I was at the Idle Hour, I broke up a fight and was getting, had some girl on my back trying to beat me up while I was throwing these guys out of the fucking way. And then Sarah came in, because Sarah and all them were outside smoking, and they walked in and just saw me, throwing people everywhere. And
he's the Hulk.
Told me. And then they're like, she comes up to me and she's like, "Babe, we gotta go. Your freaking gun's hanging out everywhere." And I was like, "Oh shit." And so then the fight was broke up by then, but this girl was pissed off because I broke the fight up. And so we were to leave, and I'm friends with the bouncers down there, so they
Idle Hour has bouncers?
I don't know, I've never seen
well, they did then. I don't know if they still
how
do.
long ago was this?
This was a long time ago. I haven't been there in a long time.
I think they still have bouncers.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll bring out
my buddy Eddie used to be a bouncer there all the time.
Yeah. Eddie used to be a bouncer. I think they have.
Who the fuck is Eddie?
You guys don't know Eddie, but
he's one of the black guys in town.
Yeah.
That narrows it down.
We got 4 options here, guys.
Yeah, no, I've known them forever. I know the owner of Idle Hour forever. We went to high school together. So, but yeah, so we left, but it was stupid because I was just trying to shoot pool, and then these 2 idiots started trying to fight each other. And when I tried trying to break them up, one of their girlfriends decided that was not happening.
She's like,
you need to let them out.
So she was way more of a pain in the ass than these fucking guys were.
All I can imagine is you're just standing there in the middle of Idle Hour, and you just have this random lady attached to your back.
Well, I was bent over, literally grabbing these guys like they're sacks of potatoes and just throwing them apart from each other. But because I was bent over, my gun was on my hip and it was sticking out. And so Sarah's like,
Sarah's just
"We gotta go. Nobody's fucking with you because your gun's sticking out."
My husband also tried to get in a fight in the Idle Hour too. So
the Idle Hour is a fighting place.
Yeah.
I guess if you look at someone wrong, it's the end of the world.
Love to see Savoy out when he actually wants to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did. He shooed this girl.
So Savoy, I think Savoy, he always wants to actually drink. He just knows that he does not control himself well when he does.
He got kind of forced into drinking on Dan's birthday because
he went into the Idle Hour bathroom and made himself puke.
Yeah,
so that he
and Justice has shut him down on more than one occasion. So
yeah, we did a family reunion one year, and him and his brother both drank a little too much. And the next day home on the drive home, they were just crying to me the whole time how sorry they were for drinking too much.
Well, his brother was trying to fight everybody.
Yeah.
At the family
Badger?
reunion.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
It was funny.
I love both of them. They just apologized to me the whole way home, crying.
So Savoy will kill me for telling this story, but when they first moved here after the Navy, the first time Savoy actually hung out with me, other than I did meet him when I went to Virginia to visit her.
Yeah.
But it was real short. I mean, he couldn't even go out to lunch with us. Like, I met him for, I don't know, half an hour or something.
Yeah.
And, anyways, so the real first time I really got to get to know him was when they first moved here, and they had to move into our house because they didn't have a place to stay. And, Savoy made the mistake of trying to keep up drinking with my son.
Oh, no.
Which I told him not to right from the beginning. And he's like, I've been in the Navy forever. I can freaking drink. And
mind you, he hadn't drank in like months either. Because he had just been home chilling.
So it's just
for like months. So
not
he's
having
just
drinking.
hasn't drank in months.
This is my son who's, he's been drinking with me for a long time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he can drink.
Yeah.
And
Jacob just drinks and drinks. Like, he just, that's Jacob.
well, not now. He's being good now.
Yeah,
but,
he doesn't drink so much anymore.
But anyways, so next thing I know, Savoy's holding my hand.
Yeah.
I'm trying to envision this.
And then shortly after that, he's passed out in the driveway in his underwear.
Oh my God, you told us this in the mud. I just left
And
him.
Justice went out trying to get him to come back in the house, and he wouldn't. And she came in and she's like, "Fuck him, he can sleep out there."
Savoy cracks me up because he doesn't understand like how much we share. Like there is no secrets between
Yeah,
any of
we
us.
know
And
absolutely
he goes,
everything.
sometimes we pull up stories and he's like, you know about that?
Yeah. And then we were when we went out for Danny's birthday, he was like, how much do you know? And I was like, Savoy, I know everything. And he was like,
I know where the bodies are buried.
He's like, are you serious? And I was like, I don't think there isn't anything I don't know.
Yep.
And he was like looking at me with like terror in his eyes. He's like, are you sure? And I was like,
drunk me tries to make everyone else look like they're with my husband.
Yeah, so that didn't go over well.
The first time Savoy and me ever went to a concert, I tried to get him to dance with some other girl. She wanted someone to dance with. I was like, my husband is a great swing dancer. Here you go. He can two-step with you all night. And he was like, I'm not dancing with this random chick. And I was like, take him. It's fine. It's okay.
Take him. He's up for an offer.
And then when we went out for Danielle's Dirty 30, it looks like him and Mackenzie
it looks like we're the married ones.
They
Every
are
single picture.
all night I tried to get them to get pictures together.
Yeah, because we hadn't gone out with Savoy, so she's like, whenever we were next to her, she's like, oh, take a picture. And so it just looks like she's our like random child and I'm his wife. And I'm like,
my mother-in-law actually thinks that Mackenzie would like to be with my husband.
Shout out to Steph. I don't want Savoy. Hate to break it to you, girl. I'm sorry.
I love Savoy to death. He is an awesome guy, and he freaking. I was never raised as like. I was raised where guys don't show their emotion and whatnot. He was not.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. And he does a great job with the grandkids, and he does a great job with Justice. I know that they do their thing every once in a while or whatever, where they're fighting over whatever, but that's part of being married. So
yeah.
But no, I'm glad they met, and even though Justice didn't follow my advice when she joined the Navy and freaking.
My dad told me blowjobs only when I joined the Navy.
And you were like, what? No blowjobs? Go straight for the home run. Got it.
Yeah. No, she totally disregarded my advice.
Yeah.
That's typical Justice.
Yeah.
No, I meant.
Well, I told her that because I told you before you joined the Navy that you're going to hate it. I said you're going to hate it, but eventually you'll love it.
Yeah.
And
I don't think there was an eventually.
I told her.
I don't think there was either.
Though, if you end up finding some guy that you fall in love with or whatever, you're going to fuck it all up. So, blowjobs only.
Yeah.
To be fair, I met Savoy the first time I ever shook Savoy's hand. I was like, this guy reminds me of home.
Can we please,
you can go back to the fact that I was on a date with his best friend the first time I shook his hand.
She wasn't even on a date with Savoy. On a date with his best friend. And she's like, actually,
I want that
one.
So, and then I moved in basically the next day, and here we are, and he's the greatest dad and the greatest husband, so he kind of kicks ass at all that stuff, so he's doing pretty good at everything.
Still a little crazy.
Still a little psycho, but we love him for it.
He's a horrible son-in-law. He never comes around.
He's very busy right now, okay?
I was going to say...
What was he so excited about? The pumpkins? last year?
Yeah, when he got to carve the pumpkins at your guys' house with the kids and Kip and stuff.
He was pumped, yes.
He was so excited. He was
Dude,
like...
and I am super excited about that because I fucking hate that shit.
He was so excited. I remember when Justice was telling us how excited he was that he got to carve pumpkins and stuff with the girls and Kip and Sarah and stuff. And I was like, I hate carving pumpkins.
Yeah.
You love that?
Oh, he loves it. Yeah, he did.
I did love teaching my grandkids how to make s'mores, though. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, no. They love s'mores. Leighton was talking about s'mores. Leighton loves anything sweet, though. She could just live off sweets because she doesn't eat anything
Oh, I don't know where she gets that from.
Yeah, probably me.
Little
You
Debbie.
think? Little
Yeah.
Debbie, yeah.
Yeah. Lived off a box of Swiss rolls when you were pregnant.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
Swiss rolls is like her jam.
There's
Yeah.
the two people that go to get lunch and then they're like, yeah, we stopped at Safeway because we can't eat lunch without some sweets.
It sucks because she's like nice and skinny, and then I'm over here like I look at a cupcake and I gain 10 pounds, and she eats 5 cupcakes and gains half an ounce, and I'm like, so we have to have sweets after every meal.
We attempted going to the gym for a little while.
We did. We
decided we're not morning people.
Yeah.
We're not. We're not made for that life.
So you can do the after work gym?
We're doing nothing right now.
Eventually, when my child's out, not in school this summer, we're going to go to the gym on lunch. Morning gym, it's not.
We need to get our other coworkers a little up to speed so that we can all go to lunch
Yeah.
together
Yep.
again, because I really miss that.
We used to all three go to lunch together, and then we lost our favorite little estimator, Steven.
Yeah, he is a traitor. He went to Lithia.
He hates us.
He went to
but
the parts department, though, because that's where he belongs.
He hates dealing with
I've
people.
got good friends that work at Lithia, too.
Yeah, he hates dealing with people, so he left us.
Yeah, so he's in the back office at the parts department.
Loves his life.
Yeah.
Shout out to Steven. He'll get you any Dodge parts you need.
Yep.
Yeah.
No one drives the Dodge because he fucking sucks.
So when he was there, we left him by himself.
Dude, there's a lot of Dodges in this town.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Especially, the biggest car club in town is a Mopar.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But Steven used to let us go to lunch together all the time, and we would just leave and be gone, and he'd be by himself for an
He
hour.
would just wing it.
Or maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So my buddy Brian is one of the salespeople there. And
Where?
he's,
Spray tan, Brian?
yeah,
Okay.
Oh, Mr. Robin?
Mr. Robin.
Fox is all puffed up.
Yeah.
He's been there
So
a
he's
long
one of my
time.
buddies, and he's constantly trying to sell me a new truck.
Yeah.
And I tell him all the time, when I buy a new truck, it's going to be another Ford. So
You're like, it's not going to be a Toyota.
he's like, I
hate to
could
break it
get
to
you a used. I can get you a used one. So he keeps trying. But whatever, that's what salespeople do.
Yeah. I've thought about going over there, and they just yell at me.
Yeah, Devin's like, come on, Justice, you could sell cars. And I'm like,
She could totally sell cars.
you probably could, but why would you want to?
Yeah.
You have us.
I wouldn't
Because
see
she
them.
probably makes a lot more money.
That doesn't matter, Carlos. She's happy.
See, that's the problem, is we all want to eventually leave, but we would never have a job where the three of us could
Yeah.
just be there together
No,
again.
that's so. I
We
would
want to
tell,
open a bar together, but
But we're poor.
dude, I totally want to open a bar. So maybe one of these days I will.
should
Got
go
the
with your-
backing.
I will back
just
it,
go with
and
your
you
dad.
guys run it.
Yeah.
we've written out.
I wrote up a business plan.
Yeah, no, we've done
to
everything.
open a bar.
We really
for-
want to. That's really been.
We did our research, all that.
What's your guys' idea?
We want something that like does a little bit of,
Of everything.
of everything.
kinda.
Like we want to do like no bars in this town do UFC fights. Like
Yeah.
and everyone around here watches UFC fights. Like in my house, we buy every UFC fight.
Yeah, or
There's
like the casino does all the UFC fights, so tons of people were there. Because when I worked there, like all the fight nights were like there were so many people there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you have
But,
to
like,
drive all the way to the
yeah.
casino. And then, like, but we'd also like to do, like, girls' nights where you do bachelor night or whatever on Mondays or Sundays or whatever when they do bachelor night, like, where you kind of cater to everyone. But also, like, I feel like none of the bars here have enough, like, kind of the, like, when I was in Virginia, there was this place we used to go to called The Bank, and they had 2 bars on either side, and then they had a dance floor in the center, but then also upstairs they had cornhole and all those fun games that you could do as well, so.
There's nothing fun for the younger generation in this town. It's a lot of bars with pool.
It's like a lot of dive
and
bars.
like nothing else for like the younger generation. There's no
Yeah.
dance clubs. There's no
you can't
like,
count rumors
hanging out
because
places really because
So,
we've got
so my idea actually was almost what you're talking about. I was thinking of basically having like 2 bars
Yeah.
with what do you call it? Like a breezeway or something.
yeah,
like an outdoor area in between that's covered with freaking heaters and everything. So it's almost like you're inside, but you're outside.
Yeah.
This way you could allow cigars and smoking and they still get to enjoy. There'd be a bar section there. And then one side of the bar can be, you know, hip hop and a dance club, and the other side of the bar can be, you know, a sports bar or whatever it needs to be. It allows things to open up. And then also I want a extensive collection of whiskeys.
Yeah.
And so basically like a whiskey cigar bar with really comfortable seating and stuff where people can come there during the day for business meetings and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then at night it can be whatever it needs to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we've really thought it out. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
we want to be able to cater to, like, because, like, Roseburg is, like, everyone's, like, yeehaw, country, yeehaw, well, all that shit.
Well, there's
We
a little
wanna-
bit of everything now. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is we want to have a bar that kind of caters to everyone. So whether it's, like, country western or, like, a sports bar or hip-hop, like, dance club, like, we want to be able to cater to everyone. So, like,
It'd be cool to do the concert nights too.
Yeah,
like
we
the
would
Bikes
like
down in
have
Medford
different
do.
events, so it wouldn't just be like every night's the same. It would be every night's kind of like a different crowd, if that makes sense.
that's like in regards to like the bachelor night, those are Mondays. So like that's not no bar is busy on a Monday night. Like so then you have to pull from different areas to kind of figure out where can I get these people that want to come to a bar on a Monday night. Oh well, if we have this playing and they all get freaking $2 mimosas or whatever for the night.
Oh,
like,
so it's like ladies' night, and you have the bachelor on TV.
Yeah.
I also don't think a lot of, like, we live on I-5, which is huge, and I don't know how many concert-type people are driving through looking for something to do on their way through from a big city to the next big city.
Have you guys heard of Urban Blends at all?
I've gone in there
them.
once, yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people don't take advantage of that either in this town. Like, we are a good stopping place for any of those kinds of things, and nobody really, like, pulls that in.
Yeah. There are some places in town that are starting to try.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Urban Blends is one of them. And, like, they have heavy metal concert nights, and they had some crazy rapper concert down there.
Huh.
We went there and watched, what's his name? Rodney
that the comedy
Duncan,
show
the comedy show that we went
Sarah
to.
was telling us about that.
Stand-up comedy. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the place looks like an abandoned freaking muffler shop.
Yeah.
But you go inside, it's super nice, really well taken care of inside. They do like a family style, you know, they welcome people to bring their kids in and stuff until a certain time or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they still sell alcohol. They don't have any hard alcohol, but they have wine and beer, and they do wine like smoothies, so that's kind of different. And then they always have a food truck or something there, so that's cool. But there are places that are trying, which is cool. But I'm totally with you guys. I think it would be amazing to have a freaking bar that has more going on a regular basis.
It feels like
we travel all the time.
We travel a lot.
those
like
things.
we down in Medford, we have a favorite bar down there that we will go to because Roseburg doesn't have one. So it's like, I would love it if we had somewhere in Roseburg that kind of caters to everyone. Like, it just would depend on the night, honestly, but, like, it would be so, like, great to, like, be able to kind of, like, be distinguished and have, like, not just be labeled as, like, a sports bar or a dive bar or whatever, like, a pool hall. Like, we would be able to do all of that. And we've been thinking about it for a while, but it's just, like, kind of how do you get started on that? Like, we wrote the business plan, but what now? So
it is hard to get it going, and the hardest part in Roseburg is finding a place to do it.
Yeah,
because real estate's like the hardest thing in Roseburg.
Yeah, Justice and I spent like a whole day just looking at the real estate in Roseburg, and like because there's so many like different kinds of like restaurants and bars that kind of try to cater to like what we're looking for. A lot of like the real estate is close to them, so it's like you don't want to be like right on top of them because not only are you kind of competing with their crowd, but it's also going to be kind of hard to distinguish yourself. Like, oh yeah, we're this bar that's right next to like Scoreboard. Like, who wants to go? Like, you don't see two bars typically like right next to each other, so you kind of have to find a good spot. especially in Roseburg, where a lot of people will walk to the other bars because people will walk from Idle Hour to Scoreboard to Kodiak.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to find a good spot, and it kind of sucks because there's nothing.
If you're walking from the Idle Hour to the Scoreboard, you're going to be sober by the time you get there.
Okay,
I've done it.
I've done it a couple
And
times.
you were totally sober when you got there, weren't you?
You know what? You take a shot and you're good. You get there, whoo, you're good to go.
We used to walk all over downtown like that when we... That's what you used to do on graffiti, actually.
I still have a little bit of this
You'd
one.
go, because graffiti had the beer garden in the middle,
Yeah.
and then you basically just went from bar to bar to bar all over the place.
Well, that's what we did. What is it you do for
Pub crawl?
pub crawl? Yeah, that's what we.
What is it you do?
That's what we walked from the eye down, because the eye it was when it was COVID, and it was like we are at capacity, so you have to go down here, and so we left.
My buddy Bryant owns Little Brother's Pub, and he's been really getting things going with...
Yeah, because I haven't been in there since, because
Where's that
they
at?
changed owners not too long ago, right?
about a year ago, yeah.
Yeah. So
Is
you
that
know
where
where
the
Jackson
chocolate
Street
place?
is? You know where Jackson Street
Yeah.
is? It's the next street over from there.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
on the backside. But they have awesome food, and he's got a bar in there. They do a lot
We'll
of
have to go
stuff in
check
there.
that one out.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
straight through from Jackson Street Provisions.
I would love to go walk around down.
Yeah, if you go in there, let him know that I told you to come check it out.
Yeah, no, that we need to go in there. There's a few places downtown that we haven't got a chance to go check out. It was a bummer that one place didn't stay open for very long. They spent a lot of money making that place. What was it like this?
Oh, that venue?
Yeah, the
Sunnyside?
Sunnyside.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sunnyside Theater.
yeah. Because when I was working at the chiropractic office,
Well, and that's kind of what this Urban Blends place
Urban
is
Blend
doing
is
now.
trying to do. Yeah.
And then there's another place that's trying. Actually, they were at the pitch night, and
Mhm.
they won one of the awards at the pitch night.
Oh, really?
And they're trying to open up another venue for that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah.
So
I think what happened with the Sunnyside is they spent so much money making that place
Yeah.
that it didn't offset it as quickly as they were hoping.
well, a bar and a venue are two different things.
Yeah.
Um,
And you had to.
you can have a bar and make it also be a venue, which is great because that's more revenue.
Yeah.
But if all you have is a venue,
You're
you
constantly
have
gotta
to.
be
I
looking
mean,
for
you've
people
got to
to
have
come
it
do
booked
it.
up.
Well, and like
So-
and in Roseburg downtown, a lot of people don't want to pay to go in somewhere.
Yeah.
Like you can walk next door and go somewhere else. Like it's not.
Yeah, like why would I pay $5 to get into this place when I could just go literally 3 steps over and pay nothing?
Which
Yeah.
I think that's a young people thing because I don't even think about paying to go into someplace.
We
So,
had to pay the cover charge up by my mom's house.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
we were
God.
like, what the fuck? Why are
We're-
we paying to get in this shit ass
It was a bar, and we
if
were
you're
pissed.
if you're not paying a cover charge, you got like a 2-drink minimum or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, then that's just if you want to go to a place that's halfway decent,
Yeah.
you should expect that.
Yeah.
So, and if you set that expectation and live up to it, I don't think people have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you go to this shitty bar that's next door if the cool people are all hanging out at this pub?
Yeah, like if I had a choice between like Idle Hour and some bar that was like really great, I'd be like, yeah, I could get into the Idle Hour for free, and like, yeah, it's fun when you're super drunk. I won't ever go in there buzzed or sober, but I'll pay the cover charge to get into here.
Yeah. So but yeah, that's cool. I like the idea that you guys are thinking.
Yeah, we've been
Thinking of
thinking it
things.
for a long time.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how there are opportunities for people that don't have money up front.
Yeah.
So you just have
That's
to.
what. Yeah, we've really tried to like kind of look into certain things. Like
Yeah,
that.
we get like super like motivated, and then like the one thing that's like, oh, like this would kind of hinder everything. We're like, we lose like all motivation, and then
Yeah.
a couple weeks later, we're like, actually,
That's
and it
pretty.
gets-
That's pretty common for people
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
I read a book called Cumulative Advantage, and actually I have it over there. But the whole idea of the book is that people are constantly presented with opportunities. They just don't realize it.
Yeah.
You know, and so the whole book is about how to basically slow down and pay attention so that you recognize those opportunities.
I got
Because
offered
you might,
that business the other day, guys.
oh yeah,
A guy offered to start because I want to make mini donuts.
That's Justice's other dream.
yeah.
I've never heard this before.
Oh God! I just want a little tiny food truck that you just sell mini donuts out of. It's all I want to do. And
I like donut holes.
this guy offered. He was like, "So how much money would you want to make? I want to start a business." And I was like, well, I don't really know. He's like, what do you need? And I was like, the maker and the supplies in the trailer. And he was like, this is a legit thing. Like, I really want to open a business. We could do this. I was like, maybe.
See, and those are exactly those opportunities. Because some of those people are full of shit. Some of those people are just trying to sleep with you. Some of those people.
I hope not.
He's like 90.
Yeah, he's like 77 or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
probably not.
So
he's still working.
Some of those opportunities are not real,
so
but some of them are.
Yeah.
And you have to recognize when they are, and you have to be prepared for it.
Yeah.
And that's what the whole book is about. And when I read it, it really opened my eyes because you start looking back.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy shit. That was one of those opportunities that I totally missed. And that was one of, because it's people you meet or people that offer you things or just being in the right place at the right time.
Yep.
And you don't pay attention to it and you don't notice it.
Yep.
So that's what that book was all about. And it's a very interesting book. So.
Which is definitely true. I mean, like, I know, I've always made it my goal with like jobs that my next job I should make more and do better at my next job. But I also know like I've started at jobs and got offered like better positions by people and didn't take them because I'm like, yeah, I'm happy where I'm at. Why would I leave? But then you think back and you're like, I probably should have done that. Like,
well, so one thing I have figured out is it can't be about money.
Yeah.
If all you're doing is chasing money, it's not going to work
it's
out.
Never.
That's why we hang.
either.
Well, that's why. I mean, honestly, why we say where we are. Like,
if you're watching for an opportunity, great. Watch for that opportunity, but you also have to take into account that opportunity is going to give you more freedom, more happiness, all that stuff, because that's what's important.
Yeah.
It's the money. I mean, you're going to make money one way or the other. You're either going to have a job you hate and go there every day and do it and blah, 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 blah. Or you're going to have a career that you enjoy getting up to go to. And,
yeah.
And, that's more important.
I was going to say, I feel like a lot of ours in the last year, like we've gone back and forth. Are we leaving? Are we staying? But with our kids being so young,
you guys just want to be together.
Well, yeah. And then our kids also take up a lot of our time during the day. And with our job, one of the things that's really nice about it is like, if my daughter has something, I know that I can get up and leave and go do that for her. And that my job will still be taken care of by these two while I'm gone. Same thing with Justice. If Leighton or Lyra needs anything, she's gone. She needs to go do it. I'm never going to question her on it.
Yeah, I never have to worry, like, if my kids are sick, like, is it okay if I leave, or am I going to... It's never been a worry at my job that I'm going to get fired for leaving work because I have a family issue or something. Or even, like, if I need, like, a mental break day, like, when I was pregnant with Logan, there was a day that I was like, I went back to Danielle and I was like, I can't today.
She couldn't stop crying.
Like, I was like,
she was literally crying all day.
I was like, I just can't. I don't know what's wrong with me. I just can't. Danielle's like, just leave.
Yeah,
it's not that big of a deal.
It's
like,
not worth your time to be here right now.
Yeah.
No one.
That's what she told you. What she was thinking was, you're really fucking annoying.
No, what I was thinking is, I don't do well with other people's emotions.
If you cry in front of Danielle, she's like that, like...
Starts
I've got a broom and I'm trying to
she's
tap
like
you on
that
the shoulder.
meme that it's like they have a broom and they're tapping you from across the room because they're so uncomfortable.
The only time Danielle's been really stressed was the day that they thought I was getting fired.
We both cried that day.
Yeah,
I've never seen Danielle cry until that day.
I had my coworkers stressed because I was crying over Justice possibly getting fired.
Getting fired or moved departments.
That was worse. That was worse somehow.
Yeah, and I just didn't process it when she told me.
Yeah.
She was just like, okay.
She's like, yeah, that sucks. And
I'm bawling.
Yeah, Danielle's losing her shit. And then 10 minutes later, Justice sends me a text and it's just a picture of her face and she's sobbing. And I go flying into where she was at and she is, no one wants to hire a fat pregnant girl. And she's losing her shit. Danielle's crying.
That was when you were pregnant?
Yeah.
You're not getting fired when you're pregnant.
Oh, they were.
All you gotta do is say, oh, you're firing me because I'm pregnant?
It was, it was either move me into a different department or let me go because, so as an estimator, realistically, you should have experience to do this job.
Yeah.
Or or get some kind of schooling or work with cars.
Yeah, but they waited till you were pregnant.
Yeah, or
so
wait.
you were fine either way.
He also started it, like, when he told us that he hired her, he's like, yeah, she knows cars. And she was like, I don't know fucking anything.
I don't know anything.
He told me, he literally came in and he said, your new estimator's starting. And I looked through, at this time we had a little window, I looked through and I go, my
What
two
about the
estimators are
one-
still sitting in there, so which one am I getting rid of?
You're like, what?
And they're like, yeah, she starts Monday. And I'm like, so what am I supposed to do with the two out there? Who's leaving?
We gotta get rid of one.
And then he goes, well, she was in the military. And I was like, great.
And then
what
he's
does
like,
that have
she
to do
knows
with anything?
cars. Her first day, she's like, I don't know anything about
Knew
cars.
nothing about cars.
You drive them.
I know you know nothing about
Yeah,
cars.
and to be an estimator,
You gotta know.
you got to know cars, and then it takes at least 2 years to learn what
To
you're
get the
fucking
insurance
doing.
side
Yeah.
of things down.
Well, like, to get, like, to look at a panel and be like, yeah, this needs 3 hours of repair.
Yeah.
You're not gonna know that
When
even
you-
in your first 2 years.
And my first week of training was, you can log in, cool, bye, see you later.
Yeah, that's
that was
what he
it.
did.
So I taught myself everything.
The previous estimator had been doing it basically by
Solo.
himself for a year, and so he was done. And then we got another gal in who couldn't even log in the morning, couldn't remember her
she
own
couldn't
name.
spell her name right.
Our username is literally your first and last name, and she got that wrong. So that's who Justice replaced.
Yep.
Yep.
Much better.
And so he was just done. By the time she got there, he was exhausted.
He was like, you can log in. Perfect.
yeah.
My job is done.
Yeah. See you later. I'm going to lunch.
Yeah.
But it had been a few months, and I was 6 months, and I wasn't getting it yet.
She was doing good for not having any knowledge,
We
but
were all exhausted, and she got no training.
it was literally a shit show every day. We didn't know what the fuck we were doing.
And so he was like, she's not getting it. It's time to get rid of her. And I was like,
Which none of us thought this. This was the higher-ups above me.
yeah.
All they were seeing was she's not improving. And so me and Mackenzie went on a mission of let's talk Justice up as much as
Anytime
we can.
I met with him, I was like, Justice did this.
Any
Justice
little
did
thing
that.
was Justice is fabulous.
Yeah.
And
Our
then he
meeting would
changed
be
his
about
mind.
our meeting would be about like one of the texts, and we'd be like, yeah, but Justice, she did this so good. Well, I don't know what we would do without her, and we were so panicked that we were gonna end up losing her that it didn't matter what we were talking about. Somehow she would get brought up in the conversation, and we would be just talking
It was
her
gold
up.
stars across the board.
Yeah. 5 stars to Justice. She's the only one that knows what she's doing. Not even us.
That's pretty brilliant, though. I mean, you guys are like the women behind everything that run it.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are like the brains behind what's going on.
they don't think that out there in the shop.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
They
It's because they're oblivious.
Yeah,
they
they're
think
like,
we do nothing.
yeah, they're
they-
like, you guys just sit around and gossip. And we're like,
All you do is not charge enough for what we're doing.
yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
would love to see you do my job.
They get the jobs, and they think that they just have to work on the jobs, and that's the easiest part of it.
They can do what they want to whatever job, and that's it.
That's our life most of the
They'll
time.
get paid for it. Yep. If it wasn't for Justice, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't have any techs, because they would be like, hey, I need this, and she'd be like, okay, let me send it off. Whereas, like, our old estimator would be like, yeah, you want this? Okay, I'm not going to send it off, but you guys are still going to get paid for it. So pretty much the body shop's going to end up going belly up.
Yeah.
And it was. We were like a little floating dead beta fish just floating around our fucking tank for a long time.
Oh, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you guys found each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are
Seems like you're a pretty good little team.
Works
So,
out.
yeah.
We kind of all pick each other up where we're like slacking in other areas and
Yeah.
stuff, so it's nice, yeah.
Well, that's the whole idea of a team.
Yeah. Dan yells at us because we might
Dan yells at us.
I'm a desk? Is that what you said? Danielle's a desk.
That's,
All I heard was
that's what I heard,
Dan
too.
yells at us. Did you try to say
Dan-
Danielle?
Dan yells at us.
Dan yells at us.
Well, they forget, and you probably know this because you run this company. They forget that I've got to think the company side of things too. So then they get
Yeah,
going,
we
they're
don't
like,
think that.
and I'm like,
We-
I get what you're saying. Shush it for a minute, and I got to tell you the
Oh.
business standpoint. And then they're like, well, I don't like that. And I was like, I don't care. Listen.
I get super... I think I just, because of the way I was raised, I don't have any patience with anything. So the minute Danielle says something I don't agree with, immediate anger.
I might as well not talk anymore because she ain't listening.
I'm like arguing till the death.
She ain't taking in anything.
I'm
that
like,
saying.
fuck what you said. I don't care if it's valid. That is not the way I'm thinking. And then later on, I'm like, actually, yeah, sorry about that. You were right. But at the time, I was still really worked up. So
And I always have to tell them, like, I understand your guys' point. I 100% agree with your guys' point, but I also see the company side of it because they're a company.
Well, you have to, yeah.
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 And I'm like, I have to be the go-between, no matter how much you guys hate it.
I'm really bad about, like,
And
yeah,
these
I
two will just
understand
get
it.
going together.
Oh, yeah.
And they are
We
on...
work each other up so bad. We're like, yeah, and this is fucking stupid.
so
And
finally
Justice is
I
like,
turn around
yeah.
and I'm like, whatever. And I turn back to my desk.
I get to
and
hear
they're-
about some of it. Justice comes and vents to me every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just work each other up. And
Yeah,
it's,
we do.
Our other coworkers get stressed though because I know that at the end of the day we're going to be okay. And
Yeah.
they're like thinking it's
they're
World War
thinking,
III.
like, this is it. This is the end of their friendship. When in reality, we're like,
We're
yeah,
fine.
what are you
They're
guys going to
panic
get for
applying
lunch?
to jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to separate work from personal life, you know?
Yeah. Which I think that I don't think we could ever go like longer than a day, to be honest. No matter how
No.
angry we were at each other, it would be like 24 hours and we'd be like,
When Danny was doing her little mental breakdown thing, which she didn't talk to us for like 3 days, it felt like it was the end of our friendship. Like, me and Justice were so panicked.
Yeah.
We were like, what are we supposed to do? Like, what did we do?
yeah, now when they make me mad, I'm like, I'm just going to go back in my office.
And we're just
they're
like,
please
no,
don't.
please don't do that.
To be fair, a lot of times Dan will be mad, and me and Mackenzie, we don't make it any better. Like, one time Dan was trying to have a serious phone call,
Yeah, we're not. And we barked at each other.
and she yelled at
I
me.
am on the phone with an insurance adjuster just to set the scene in my office, which is back tucked away, and they are barking at each other so loud that the lady on the phone is like, So I went and just slammed my door, and they're like, oh.
Well, we were barking at each other because I went in to talk to Danielle, and she went, shh. She shushed me. And so I turned
yeah,
to
we don't
Mackenzie.
do well with shushing.
And I turned to Mackenzie. I was like, she is like a little chihuahua right now.
And we just went off.
We were just barking. We were barking.
And the problem with us is one of us starts something, and then we just progressively get louder at each other to the point where you don't even know what's happening. You're like, wow, those are two Down syndrome people. And it's literally just me and Justice in our office just losing our shit.
Usually.
Yeah, and Danielle's just like, how am I supposed to handle you guys? We're just like,
There's been multiple times where one of us will be on the phone with like an adjuster, and they hear the insaneness going on in the background, and they keep pausing because they're like,
they're like, what's happening?
what's going on back there? What?
And I'm always like, shh, they're on the phone, and they're like, don't shush me.
I don't really like have a filter. So I don't really think anything before I say it. And so Justice will be on the phone or Danny will be on the phone. I will just say whatever my head is thinking. And it's usually awful. And I'm very loud. And then I just see one of them look at me and they're like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm like, they didn't hear it. Yeah, they did. They heard it.
Oh, yeah.
They're thinking, why? How are you guys even a business?
We're about to cut all of this estimate because I have no idea what they're talking about.
They just hear me in the background going off. Just insane.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad you guys found each other. We've been talking for a long time, so I should probably cut this off.
Yeah, we're just jibber jabbering.
Well, I try not to make this thing too long. Otherwise, people won't
He's
listen
like,
to
you
it
guys
all.
need to shut the fuck up.
He's like, can you guys just shut up for a
No, you guys are great. I might have to have you guys on again. And we'll just
Oh, we have so much
talk
to
about some more random stuff.
Yeah, we have so much to talk about.
But I really appreciate you guys being on. I hope you guys had a good time.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
fun.
thanks for having us, Dad.
Yeah. And I guess we will call it a night.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's I gotta take care of my kids. My husband's
I don't have children, but
my husband's probably like,
Probably go
where
make sure
are
my
you?
children are still alive.
this boy's crying.
Yeah.
He probably is.
He's just sitting in the corner of your couch laughing silently at
watching
TikTok.
TikToks.
My
pulled
husband
up
watches TikToks on silent, so he's probably
in the fetal position.
He watches TikToks on silent?
He's
Yes.
in a full fetal position.
What's he
though.
doing,
He's like in a
reading the-
relaxed.
I don't know. He giggles the same, like it's on.
How does he know what they're saying?
I don't know.
It's Savoy. No one will ever know.
The last time I walked into their house, she goes, "Hey, Savoy, you gonna say hi to Danny?" And he
was
doesn't even say anything. He's just
He's just giggling at his phone in like a half fetal position on the couch. It's like, okay.
You should have
Cool.
kicked him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for being on. I loved having our conversation. It was a good time. And thank you, everybody, for listening. And until next time, have a nice night.